The once glorious statue of Guan Yu is now casually thrown by the roadside. The god of war worshipped in the martial Sing temple has also been replaced by the Western Ares. As a transmigrator, you naturally understand that Eastern deities have long been forgotten by the people of this world. Even at the deity awakening ceremony, all high schoolers choose faith in Western gods. But you go straight to the dusty Guan Yu statue. Hands pressed together, Junior pays respect to Lord Guansheng. I want to ask, why can the citizens of Daxia only worship the solar gods? Just as you think the statue won't speak, the statue of Guan Yu opens its eyes. His voice booms like thunder. After 637 years, finally someone steps through this door again. Hearing Guan Yu's response, your heart trembles violently. You bow deeply. Please, Lord, enlighten me. Guan Yu's divine shadow appears from the statue. He gazes at you. He sighs deeply. It's not that we were unwilling to win by risk, but our incense offerings have been cut off. Divine rank diminished. 600 years ago, in the era of dynastic change in Huaxia, was when the 5 divine powers were at their weakest. The Western pantheon descended and launched a surprise attack, using thunderous methods to suppress the 5 paths. All believers were slaughtered, temples destroyed, incense offerings cut off. The 5 paths aspired but were defeated. Divine rank shattered, had to retreat into the void, barely surviving. Over these years, occasionally some descendants wandered here, but they all ended up choosing Western gods. Guan Yu's voice is filled with endless sorrow. You are the first Daxia citizen to kneel before me in 637 years. You lift your head, eyes burning. You can imagine the brutality of that war. The Eastern pantheon fought alone, facing the siege from 3 great pantheons, eventually perished, and Daxia's descendants have long been brainwashed, kneeling at the feet of the solar god, viewing ancestral faith as foolishness. You, Lord, take a deep breath. If I offer incense for you, can you prevail once more? Guan Yu falls silent. After a while, he slowly shakes his head. My divine rank is already close to breaking. This bit of divine consciousness left barely keeps this statue together. Unless what? Unless vast offerings of incense are made, or someone with great destiny uses themselves as a medium to renew faith. You understand? Immediately stand up, bite your finger, using blood as incense, using your own essence as a guide, using your soul as energy, forcefully establishing a connection with the deity. The price is shortened lifespan. But you don't care. Today I ignite the first incense with my blood. Offer the first strand of faith with my soul. Lord Guansheng, above, please accept Junior's bow. The broken statue of Guan Yu emits light. The entire hall shakes. Dust falls. Spiderwebs snap. Guan Yu's divine shadow surges strongly. Flames ignite in his phoenix eyes after so long. Good, good, good.
He says good 3 times.
After 637 years, finally a descendant like you appeared. Since this is so, I will use my remaining divine rank to bestow you a blessing. The broken blade in the statue's hand bursts with blue light. That blue light coils upwards like a dragon, finally turning into a blade aura, entering Chun Fan's brow. In your mind, you hear the Oriental Pantheon system notification. Information floods into your mind. You close your eyes, feeling the blade aura in your brow, cold and domineering. 1,000 autumns of loyalty and righteousness. This is the martial essence of Guan Yu's lifetime of battles. Even just walking the streets, it's enough to slay demons. Junior thanks Lord Guansheng for his blessing. You immediately bow again. Guan Yu's divine shadow becomes hazy and confused. His divine power can only sustain this far. Next, it's up to you. Remember, incense is a deity's lifeline. You must rekindle the incense for my Eastern pantheon and gather believers again within 7 days. If incense offerings end, the connection between us will break. I will completely dissipate. Do not keep us waiting too long. His voice fades. The divine shadow dissipates. The hall returns to silence. You slowly rise. Face the statue, deep bow, then turn. Walk out of the hall. The cleric in charge of the test sees you walk out from the broken hall, rushes forward and grabs your shoulder. Which deity did you resonate with? What's your divine grace value? Speak quickly. You look at the cleric and slowly utter 4 words. Marshal Saint Guan Yu. Marshal Saint Guan Yu. The cleric is stunned. The people below look at each other. Who's Guan Yu? Never heard of him. Is he a god from some minor pantheon? Only Mr. Li suddenly trembles all over. He suddenly looks up. His voice shakes. Guan Yu. Could it be the Marshal Saint Lord Guan from the Eastern Pantheon? When those 4 words, Eastern Pantheon, are spoken, the crowd first falls silent. Then Wang Hao bursts out laughing. Eastern Pantheon? Chun Fan, are you out of your mind? Couldn't you resonate with someone else? You resonated with an Eastern god that's long dead. The others finally realize. They start laughing loudly. I thought he really got lucky. Resonated with some hidden god or something. Turns out it's the Eastern Pantheon. That's even worse than failing to resonate. At least that's not embarrassing. Eastern Pantheon? Wasn't that swept into the trash heap of history ages ago? That's hilarious. This loser is still a loser. Even his resonance is with a trash pantheon. Mocking voices surge like waves. The blonde cleric on the platform also shows a look of disdain. Eastern Pantheon is trash for trash. He turns to the staff and says, Record Chun Fan resonating with Eastern Pantheon. Guan Yu divine grace value. Forget it. Eastern Pantheon has no divine grace system. Record as invalid. By the rules, he still has to be exiled. The ridicule grows even louder. Exile him, quickly exile him. Being in the same school with this loser makes me embarrassed. Wang Hao shouts the loudest, wishing he could drag Chun Fan away himself. But Mr. Li suddenly rushes up to the stage. Wait, he stands in front of you, he loudly says to the blonde cleric.
Global Awakening Compact rules.
In Pantheon Resonance Test, as long as a connection is established with any registered deity, regardless of Pantheon, it's considered passing the Awakened test and grants legal citizenship. The blonde cleric frowns. Mr. Li continues reciting the article. This clause was amended in New Era Year 57 and passed unanimously by the 12 pantheons of the Divine Alliance. Still valid to this day. The blonde cleric's face turns gloomy, but quickly sneers. So what if you resonated? Eastern Pantheon has long been delisted. Now he only exists in history textbooks. He belongs to a vanished pantheon. He looks at you. His eyes are full of mockery. Kid, you resonated with a god that's completely dead. Even if this kind of god responds to you, they can't give you anything. Without a divine grace system to support you, you can't even learn the most basic divine arts. The curriculum and resources at Divine Arts Academy are all based on the divine grace system of the 3 sacred artifacts. That's the foundation of their design. So what are you going to use to cultivate? With your head? The audience erupted in laughter. Wang Hao even held his stomach, laughing. This is killing me. All this time. Turns out you resonated with a zombie god. Chun Fan, are you trying to become a corpse handler or something? You look at the blonde priest and ask calmly, so, according to what you're saying, the Eastern Pantheon doesn't count as gods? Of course not. The blonde priest responded as if it were obvious. Your extinction is just a historical relic. You speak slowly, word by word. According to the regulations, any tester who resonates with a god from the pantheon, regardless of that god's pantheon status, automatically receives the status of provisional divine follower. Have you forgotten that rule? The blonde priest's expression turned completely dark. He never expected a poor welfare kid like you to actually know these rules so well. He gritted his teeth. If the concord of divine rights treaties could just be scrapped at will, you fixed your gaze on him and continued. Then can I assume that the so-called Global Awakening Pact is just a trick you use to fool people? Those words were too sharp. So sharp that the blonde priest didn't dare answer. The Divine Grace Awakening ceremony is recorded in full. If a Divine Rights Alliance official were to blatantly violate the pact and cause a scandal, someone like him, a mere inspector, would never be able to handle it. The atmosphere froze. Just then, a gentle voice sounded. Lord Anderson. Bai Yuming walked onto the stage. He gave the blonde priest a slight bow. Today he was wearing the white robe of a novice from the Church of Holy Light, a silver cross pinned to his chest. The whole person seemed to radiate a soft glow. The blonde priest saw him, and his expression softened a little. Classmate Bai, what is it? Chan Fan is my neighbor, Bai Yuming said softly. We grew up together from childhood. Even though he's from a poor background, he's always been hardworking. And this time, he managed to resonate successfully. No matter which god he resonated with, he still received a response from a god. According to the pact, he really shouldn't be exiled. He raised his head. Beautiful eyes full of pleading. Can you give him a chance? Even if he can't get into the Divine Arts Academy, at least let him finish school at an ordinary school, so he can get a normal job in the future. It's always helpful when someone pleads on your behalf, let alone when. Bai Yuming is the brightest genius at today's Blue City Awakening ceremony. The most outstanding prodigy today. S-level aptitude and 90 divine grace points. He'd already been pre-selected by the Holy Light Academy. For his sake, the blonde priest had to give in. The blonde priest snorted coldly and took the chance to back down. Since classmate Bai is asking, I'll make an exception this once. He turned to look at you, his eyes icy cold. According to the regulations, you've obtained the status of provisional divine follower. You're exempt from exile. But the Eastern Pantheon has no divine grace system, so the school won't provide you any training resources. You won't be able to understand or learn the courses at Divine Arts Academy either.
Take care of yourself.
With that, he turned and left in anger. It continues, but everyone's attention is no longer on the stage. Can't believe he actually got away with it. Wang Hao spat disdainfully, clearly annoyed. A few of his cronies chimed in. Don't be mad. How? He's just barely hanging on. It's because he doesn't have a divine grace system. So how's he going to cultivate? Just wait for the divine exam in 6 months. He'll still get kicked out then. He'll have to leave sooner or later. You ignored them. And, supported by Teacher Lee, walked off the stage, found a corner, sat down. How are you feeling? Teacher Lee asked with concern. When you came out of the Pantheon just now, it looked like there was a faint green blade mark on your forehead. I'm fine, you shook your head, just feeling your whole body burning up. The blade intent at your brow was stirring restlessly, like it could burst out at any moment. You just wanted to find a place to digest all this power. Chan Fan and Bai Yuming walked over. He looked at you, his expression complicated. What are your plans for the future? I don't know, Chan Fan answered honestly. How about this? Bai Yuming hesitated. I'll talk to the priests at the Church of Holy Light. And maybe let you do odd jobs at the church. Even if you can't cultivate, at least you'll have food to eat. You laughed, not because you were touched, but because you found it funny. Thanks, but no need. You stood up and brushed the dust off yourself. I'll walk my own path. Bai Yuming bit his lip, wanting to say more, but you'd already turned and left. Teacher Lee watched Bai Yuming's disappointed back and heaved a sigh. Classmate Bai is actually a pretty good person. Yeah, it's just, he chose the holy light. Chan Fan finished the thought. Everyone has their own path. No need to say more, Teacher Lee. Chan Fan didn't return to the dorm. He left the school, heading straight for the old district, following the god-eye clock's sense in his mind. In Blue City, there are still over a dozen remnants of Eastern Pantheon incense sites. He needed to find a quiet place to study the Azure Dragon Crescent Blade's shadow that he just acquired, as well as that incense system. Halfway there, his phone rang. It was a message from the class group chat. Teacher Lee tagged all members. Emergency notice. The school has received a file from the provincial and city committees to prepare for the citywide high school Divine Awakener team competition in 3 days. At 8 a.m. tomorrow, all classmates who passed the awakening test will go together to the Olympus training field on the west side of the city for adaptive training. Team competition rules. 5 people per team. Free team formation. Competition results count as bonus points for the provincial exam. The top 5 teams are guaranteed admission to the Divine Arts Academy. Note, the day before the team competition, anyone who hasn't found a team will be disqualified. This competition is directly linked to further education and is extremely important. Everyone must take it seriously. The group chat instantly exploded. Everyone was looking for team members. Chan Fan glanced at it and didn't say anything. He knew no one would reach out to him. The Eastern Pantheon has no divine grace system. Not even the most basic divine arts are usable. In other people's eyes, he was just a burden. Sure enough, after all the excitement in the chat, No one tagged him. Instead, Wang Hao jumped in. Our team is already formed. A level, Zhang Kong 72 points. B level 61 points. Li Na B level 62 points. Zhao Kun C level 50 points. And then Bai Yumeng S level 90 points. Damn, Hao, you're amazing. This lineup basically guarantees us the championship. Bai, the school beauty, actually teamed up with Hao. I'm jealous, Bai Yumeng just sent a smiling emoji. Without saying a word, Chun Fan turned off his phone and kept walking forward.
10 minutes later.
He arrived at Chongfeng Street in the old town. This is a run-down old street, with old houses on both sides waiting for demolition. The walls are covered with demolition notices ending in Chai. Number 28, a small temple with half its plaque missing. Chun Fan pushed open the creaking wooden door and walked inside. The temple was tiny, less than 30 square meters. A statue of Guangong stood on the altar in the center. Not the 10-meter-tall giant statues you see in virtual space, but an ordinary clay sculpture, only about half a person's height. Most of the colored paint had peeled off. The green dragon crescent blade was broken off at the tip. Even the altar had several cracks. But with Chun Fan's divine eye, he could see a faint green glow from within the statue. It's the same source as the blade intent in the virtual space. This is the place. Chun Fan closed the door, sat cross-legged before the statue. He closed his eyes. His consciousness sank into his mind. Incense system current status. God tied to activation. Martial Saint Guan Yu recovery. Spirit 1%. Amount of incense stocked. Number of personal worshippers depend on yourself. Divine duty, Eastern Pantheon, Guardian, walking the mortal realm. Spirit stone mission. Maintain incense. 7 days uninterrupted, remaining time. 6 days. 23 hours, 47 minutes. Failure penalty. Divine duty revoked. Connection with Guan Yu interrupted. Simple but harsh. In 7 days, he must keep the incense burning continuously. Otherwise, what's left of Guan Yu's divine consciousness will completely dissipate. The system announced incense storage. Chun Fan opened his eyes, looking at the statue of Guangong in front of him. No incense, no candles, not even any offerings. He thought for a moment, and took out the only 5 yuan he had left in his pocket. This was his last living expense for the month. He went out, bought 3 of the cheapest sticks of incense from a nearby shop, and a box of matches, then came back to the temple, lit the incense and placed them in the burner before the altar. Smoke slowly rose up. Chun Fan knelt before the statue, respectfully kowtowing 3 times. Great Emperor Guansheng on high. I, Chun Fan, swear here today, I will reignite incense for the Eastern Pantheon and gather believers again. Within 7 days, the incense will not be extinguished. After 7 days, the number of believers will increase. As he finished his oath, a system prompt popped up in his mind. Incense offering detected. Incense amount 1.001 sticks. Continuing to increase. Mission countdown. Reset to 7 days. He made it even though it only increased by 0.001 sticks. At least the incense was reconnected. Chun Fan exhaled in relief. Then he began to study the green dragon crescent blade's shadow. His consciousness focused on his forehead. He could see a green blade shadow, hovering in the center of a sea of stone. The blade shadow was faint, but radiated a chilling, killing intent. Chun Fan tried to touch it, and a torrent of information flooded his mind. It wasn't text. It wasn't images. It was a realization, an insight into the blade, understanding its methods, the path of loyalty and righteousness, the pure essence of martial arts from Guan Yu's lifetime of battles. Even at just 1/10,000 of the beginner stage, it was enough to benefit Chun Fan endlessly. So this is how the cultivators of the Eastern Pantheon train. Chun Fan opened his eyes, suddenly enlightened. The Western Pantheon relies on divine grace points. The higher your divine grace, the closer you are to your deity, and the more divine power you can borrow, the stronger the miracles you can cast. The whole process is about borrowing, but in the East, the Pantheon relies on understanding. What the gods give isn't power, but a path if you comprehend it. The power becomes yours. If you don't, you can't use it even if given in abundance. No wonder they say there's no divine grace system. Chun Fan muttered to himself. They're 2 entirely different paths. He stood up, casually picked up a stick from the ground, and performed the slash based on his insight. It was slow and clumsy, but the path the stick traced carried a faint chill. The temperature in the temple seemed to drop by a few degrees. Still not enough, Chun Fan kept practicing. 1 slash, 2 slashes, 3 slashes. No flashy moves, just basic chopping and sweeping attacks. But with every slash, he tried to comprehend that sense of the blade. Time ticked by, his shirt drenched in sweat. Arms so sore he could barely lift them. But Chun Fan didn't stop. He knew he was out of time. Tomorrow, he would go to the Olympus training ground. It's full of Western Pantheon awakened there.
He was the only remaining hope for the Eastern Pantheon.
Out there, he would be an outsider. If he couldn't even protect himself, let alone recruit followers, he might not survive 7 days.
He kept practicing until nightfall.
At last, Chun Fan stopped. He gripped the wooden stick and slowly swung one final slash at the air. This time, a faint green glow appeared at the stick's tip. It was only about an inch long and vanished instantly. But the eyes of the Guanggong statue in the temple seemed to glimmer slightly. Green Dragon Crescent Blade Intent Proficiency increased. Current Mastery, Beginner Stage 1%. System message popped up right on time. Chun Fan slumped to the ground, gasping for air. Exhausted, but worth it. At least now he has a fighting chance. At that moment, his phone rang again. It was a private message from Teacher Lee. Chun Fan, you saw the group chat, right? Do you have a team for training tomorrow? Chun Fan replied no. Teacher Lee was silent for a while, then sent another message. I just asked around with teachers from other classes. The school is really focused on this team competition. Top 5 get recommended to Shenshu Academy. And top 10 in the whole school get 50 extra points on the college entrance exam. But if you can't find a team, according to the rules, you really will be disqualified. Should I ask the principal if you can get a special exception to enter as a solo competitor? Chun Fan laughed. A solo competitor would basically tell everyone he's the outcast. No need, Teacher Lee, he replied. I'll find my own way. Don't worry, I've got it. Conversation over? Chun Fan looked at his phone screen, his eyes calm. He would never beg anyone to team up. The road to the revival of the Eastern Pantheon is destined to be lonely. But loneliness doesn't mean weakness. Training ground tomorrow. He'll use the knife in his hand to show everyone. The Eastern Pantheon isn't dead yet. At least Chun Fan is still alive. As long as he's alive, there's hope. He stood up, faced the image of Guan Yu, then blew out the incense again, locked the temple doors, and disappeared into the night. The 3 sticks of incense in the temple had already burned out, but a wisp of blue smoke lingered in the censer. That wisp spiraled upward, eventually merging into the forehead of the Guan Yu statue. The clay idol seemed to come to life just a bit more. Early next morning, over a dozen buses lined up at the entrance of Blue City No. 1 high school. There were a total of over 300 students who passed the awakening test. All of them wore brand new uniforms for Divine Arts Academy recruits. White base with gold trim, crests of their respective pantheons embroidered on the chest, a lightning bolt for Olympus, a battle axe for the Norse pantheon, a cross for the Holy Light pantheon. Only Chun Fan still wore his faded school uniform, standing among the crowd, looking completely out of place.
Hey, isn't this our Eastern god?
Wang Hao walked over with his 4 teammates, speaking sarcastically. Haven't found a team yet? Jiang Kong Li Na and the others at his side all burst out laughing. Bai Yuma was also in the group. He looked at Chun Fan, wanting to say something, but in the end turned away. Chun Fan ignored them and went straight onto the last bus. Most of the seats were already taken, but as he got on, several people nearby immediately stood up and moved to other seats, as if he was carrying the plague. Chun Fan was glad for the peace and quiet, found a window seat and sat down. The bus started moving. The scenery outside began to roll by. City vibes gradually replaced by the desolate outskirts. Half an hour later, the motorcade entered a massive complex of buildings, towering Roman columns, majestic temple-style structures, along with lightning, flames, and holy light effects hovering in the air. This is the Olympus training ground, the biggest training base for the divinely favored in Blue City. The students got off the buses one after another and lined up in the square in front of the training ground. The plaza was huge, the floor paved with neatly arranged blue-gray stone tiles. A 3-meter-tall statue of Zeus stood in the center, thunderbolt scepter raised to the sky. The pedestal was engraved with gold letters. Divine grace blesses all living beings. Chun Fan stood at the very back of the line, watching his excited classmates. Without much expression, the so-called training ground they were about to enter, in essence, was a dimensional space transformed by the Western pantheons. That area was originally a naturally formed spiritual ruin on Eastern land. A small world where spiritual energy gathered and spirits and monsters spawned. When the Western gods descended 300 years ago, they took over these spiritual ruins and transformed them into training grounds. Inside, countless monsters and demons were imprisoned, all captured and suppressed when they purged the faith of the Eastern deities, rounded up from all over.
Now,
They're just leveling fodder for the Western Pantheon awakeners. Everyone be quiet. A middle-aged man in a black divine robe walked onto the stage. A lightning badge of the Olympus Pantheon hung on his chest. He was the head of the training camp, named Horn, a Westerner. He had lived in China for over 20 years and spoke fluent Mandarin. I'm Horn, chief instructor of the Blue City Olympus training ground, and welcome to the first stop for all awakeners. His voice was loud and commanding, carrying undeniable authority. You've all completed the Divine Grace Awakening ritual. But awakening is just the beginning. If you want to become true awakeners, you need to kill monsters and spirits in the training grounds, build up combat experience, and deepen your divine arts resonance. When your divine arts resonance passes 100%, you'll receive another blessing from your deity and be promoted to a first-tier awakener. The crowd instantly buzzed with conversation. First-tier awakeners? I haven't even used divine arts yet. I heard awakeners can use real divine powers. Can't wait to try it. Horn raised his hand, signaling for silence. I know a lot of you are still unfamiliar with the divine arts system. So let me explain simply. He waved and lines of golden text appeared in the air. Levels of divine arts. Ordinary divine arts, basic attacks, defense, healing, average power. Advanced divine arts, area damage, lasting buffs, etc. Significantly stronger. Legendary divine arts, large-scale spells that change the course of battle. Extremely powerful mythic divine arts, said to be used directly by the gods themselves. Mortals can't even look at them. The power of divine arts depends on your divine grace value, talent level, and your proficiency with divine arts. The higher your divine grace value, the more power you can borrow from your gods, and the stronger your divine arts become. Talent level sets your upper limit. With S-level talent, you might learn legendary divine arts. With level talent, even ordinary arts are a struggle. Proficiency requires real combat experience. Just praying in a church won't help. Horn scanned the crowd. So, the training ground is your best place for combat practice. Killing monsters and spirits inside not only boosts your resonance, but also earns you divine grace points. The more you kill, the greater your reward, the faster you level up. Besides killing creatures, there are other ways to get promoted, like collecting incense, doing good deeds, enlightenment, breakthroughs, etc. But those are out of reach for you all right now. Focus on fighting monsters for now, and master the basics. After finishing his speech, he pointed to a massive stone gate at the far end of the plaza. The gate was 10 meters high, pitch black all over, covered with dense runes from top to bottom. Inside the gate was a swirling, chaotic vortex, giving off an unsettling aura. This is the entrance to the training ground. Once you enter, you'll be randomly placed in the outer zone. Monsters there are fairly weak, about initial first-tier strength, perfect for you to get some practice. Each team gets a distress talisman. If you're in danger, crush it and you'll be teleported out immediately. But don't rely on it too much. There's a 3-second delay from the time you crush it until you're teleported. In those 3 seconds, a strong enough monster could tear you to pieces. Horn gave a meaningful smile. So know your limits. Now, teams enter in order. The teams began to move. The first few teams to enter had higher talent levels and top divine grace points. They were elite squads. They entered the gate confidently and vanished into the vortex. Wang Hao's team was third in line. As they passed Chun Fan, he deliberately stopped, looked Chun Fan up and down. Eastern God, you really showed up. What's your plan? Going in solo to die. Jiang Kong sneered. Don't bother with him, Hao. Just let him fend for himself. Lina also curled her lip. A loser with no divine grace system is just monster fodder in there. Bai Yumo stood in the group. Her lips moved, wanting to say something, but finally stayed silent. Wang Hao noticed her expression and got even more annoyed inside. He'd always liked Bai Yumo. She was beautiful, came from a good family and had high talent, the acknowledged star of Blue City. But she was cold as ice and kept everyone at a distance. Except when it came to Chun Fan, the poor orphan from the welfare home. She would actually say a few words and even show different expressions. It drove Wang Hao crazy. He just didn't get it. How could a useless loser with no divine grace be the one Bai Yumo noticed? Let's go in. Wang Hao looked away and led his team through the stone gate. Before leaving, he glanced back at Qin Fan, eyes cold as ice. Today, he was going to make sure this loser disappeared for good. As Bai Yumo passed by Chun Fan, she hesitated for a second. Be careful, Chun Fan. Her voice was soft, almost inaudible. Then she quickly stepped into the gate. Without looking back, Chun Fan's face was expressionless. The teams entered one by one, until there were few people left on the plaza. Finally, it was Chun Fan's turn.
He walked toward the stone gate,
but was stopped by a hand. Stop him. It was a staff member in a training ground uniform, about 30 years old, with a buzz cut and obvious hostility on his face. You can't go in. Chun Fan stopped in his tracks. The buzz cut sneered. Reason? The training ground is only open to awakened of the Western Pantheon. You're from the Eastern Pantheon, not on the admission list anymore. Who said so? I did. The buzz cut fell dead, with an expression that said, I'm stopping you, so what? What are you going to do about it? Chun Fan looked at him without speaking. Several other students who hadn't entered yet also gathered around to watch the commotion. Who is this guy? How is he here alone? That loser from the Eastern Pantheon. The one who scored 0 on the Divine Grace test yesterday. Damn, the one who resonated with the god of death. Not the god of death. It was some Guan something. Anyway, an Eastern god, already dead and gone. Why is he at the training ground? Here to get beaten up. Laughter broke out. Chun Fan ignored them. He took out his phone from his pocket, opened a page, and held it up to the buzz cut. The Global Awakening Accord stipulates that any awakened who passes the Pantheon Resonance test and receives a response from a deity, regardless of which pantheon they belong to, shall have the same civil rights as awakened from the 3 major pantheons. He finished reading and stared at the buzz cut. Do you want me to continue reading? The buzz cut's face changed. Of course he knew about this Global Awakening Accord. It was drafted by the Divine Rights Alliance themselves. Every clergy member had to memorize it. But the problem is, who actually cares about the Eastern Pantheon? Occasionally, someone resonates with the Eastern Pantheon in recent years, but it's usually just the lowest level gods like the Earth God, or the Kitchen God, things like that. Their divine grace rating is practically nothing, no different from trash. No one ever takes the accord that seriously. But Chun Fan insisted on taking it seriously. The buzz cut gritted his teeth. An accord is an accord. The training ground has its own rules. Rules outrank the accord. Chun Fan cut him off. So am I to understand that the training ground is openly violating the highest law of the Divine Rights Alliance? That was a heavy accusation. Sweat broke out on the buzz cut's forehead, and the surrounding staff looked at each other in confusion. The training ground was funded by the Divine Rights Alliance. If word got out that they violated the Global Awakening Accord, everyone from top to bottom would suffer. Let him in. A deep voice called out. Horn walked over and glanced at Chun Fan. His expression was complicated. Head, instructor, it was my call to let him in. Horn's tone brooked no opposition. The accord is the accord. We don't have the right to deny any lawful awakened. The buzz cut stepped aside, unwillingly. Chun Fan put away his phone and walked toward the stone gate. Kid, a sudden voice called from behind. Chun Fan stopped walking. The monsters in the training ground aren't friendly to awakened of the Eastern Pantheon. Not at all. Many of them were originally captured by the Western Pantheon from the East. They'll pick up your scent and attack you more fiercely than anyone else. You sure you want to go in? Chun Fan turned to look at Horn. Head instructor, are you worried about me or trying to talk me out of it? Horn was silent for 2 seconds. He shook his head. Up to you. I'm just warning you. If anything happens, the training ground isn't responsible. I get it. Chun Fan turned and walked into the stone gate. The vortex swallowed his figure. Horn stared at the stone gate, muttered under his breath. What's this boy from the Eastern Pantheon planning? The buzz cut leaned over and whispered, Head instructor, should we assign someone to watch him? What if something really happens? What could happen? Horn gave him a side glance. He wanted to go in himself. If he dies, it's on him. Besides, he looked at the stone gate, his eyes cold. A loser from the Eastern Pantheon. If he dies, he dies. The buzz cut let out a sigh of relief. A sinister smile appeared on his face. Yeah, if he dies, so be it. Nobody's going to care anyway. The moment he passed through the stone gate, Chun Fan felt his body being torn by a tremendous force. Everything went black at first. Then, suddenly, it became bright. He was standing on a barren plain. The sky was gray and hazy. No sun in sight. It was as if the light was seeped in from all directions. The ground was cracked. Not a blade of grass in sight. Ruined rocks and decayed, dead trees were everywhere. A faint bloody smell hung in the air. Far off, he could barely make out some shadowy figures wandering around. Chun Fan took a deep breath. He gripped the wooden stick in his hand, the one he picked up at the Guan Yu temple yesterday. No proper weapon, so he just had to make do. He carefully made his way deeper into the plain. Hadn't walked more than 5 minutes before the first monster appeared. It was a Volf. No, not a Volf. Its body was twice the size of a normal Volf, covered all over in black scales. Eyes glowing blood red. Sticky liquid dripped endlessly from its mouth. Strangest of all, there were 3 curved bone spines, jutting out of its back like flagpoles. The divine eye clock hand turned automatically. Information appeared before Chun Fan's eyes. Volf Level 1. Early stage. Formed by being suppressed by the Western Pantheon. Corrupted and mutated by void energy. A tiny trace of Eastern spiritual incense remains within. A tiny trace of Eastern incense. Chun Fan's heart skipped a beat. The Rotbone Volf was already lunging at him. It moved fast. Its sharp claws ripped through the air with a fishy wind. Chun Fan dodged to the side, swinging his stick at the Volf's head. Bang! The Rotbone Volf staggered back a few steps, but quickly regained its footing and leapt at him again. Its scales were really tough. Normal attacks barely worked. Chun Fan took a deep breath. He activated the green dragon crescent blade's intent between his brows. The tip of the stick glowed faintly blue. Very faint, but enough. The Rotbone Volf lunged again. This time Chun Fan didn't dodge. He met it head-on and slashed down with the stick. A streak of starlight drew an arc, precisely striking the Volf's head. Crack! Its scales shattered. The Rotbone Volf's skull split open. Black blood spurted out. It let out a shrill scream, struggled a couple times, and then crashed to the ground. Its corpse started smoking, rapidly dissolving into black ash, scattering in the wind. From the ashes, a faint, almost invisible white light floated up, circling once in the air, then entering Chun Fan's brow. A system alert popped into his mind. Killed the Rotbone Volf. Gained a trace of incense. Current incense 1 o'clock. 1 stick plus 1 trace. 1,000 traces of incense equals 1 stick. Chun Fan was stunned. A trace of incense. So killing monsters actually grants incense? And the system specifically mentioned incense, not anything else. He immediately asked in his mind, what's going on here? The system's cold voice rang out. After the Western Pantheon descended 300 years ago, they crushed the Eastern gods with overwhelming force. They cut off all incense channels for the Eastern deities. But this incense is meant for worshipping the Eastern gods. Western gods can't absorb or use it. It can't just disperse into the void, so it lingers in the real world. Eventually, it gets absorbed by all sorts of demons and monsters. The stronger the creature, the more incense it accumulates inside. So can others gain incense by killing monsters? When other people kill monsters, the incense gets released from their bodies. But without the unique incense affinity, the released incense keeps drifting around. It can't be offered to any god. As for the Western gods, their incense is absorbed directly through their faith network in the Western divine kingdom. It doesn't show up inside monsters. Chun Fan understood now. Because he has the unique incense affinity, all incense generated from offerings goes directly to the Eastern deities. It bypasses the Western divine kingdom's blockades. So only when he kills monsters can the wandering incense really be collected and turned into usable resources. For others, killing monsters is just killing monsters. But for him, killing monsters means gathering incense. It means extending Guan Yu's divine life and accumulating power for himself. Chun Fan's eyes lit up. Damn, this is like cheating. He looked at the wandering shadows deep in the plains, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly. Looks like I'll be working overtime today. The first rot bone Wolf was just the beginning. Chun Fan kept going deeper. He quickly ran into a second and third one. He showed no mercy. He killed them all. With every kill, he gained a wisp of incense. A wisp isn't much, but it adds up. And during the fights, his understanding of the Azure Dragon Crescent blades will deepen. That basic saber technique only had 1% mastery at first. But with every monster he killed, his mastery improved little by little. So that's how it works. While swinging his club, Chun Fan was reflecting on it. The essence of blade intent is the martial spirit of Guan Yu's lifelong battles. It's not just a technique, not a particular move, but a mindset. A mindset of being invincible and always pressing forward. And this state can only truly be understood in actual combat. Just meditating on it won't help. So let's have a real fight. Chun Fan picked up the pace. There were all kinds of monsters on the plains. Besides rot-bone wolves, there were rot-bone bears, rot-bone snakes, and rot-bone birds. All were at the early stage of Tier 1. Dangerous for regular people. But for Chun Fan, who awakened blade intent, not hard to handle. The more he fought, the smoother it got. The blue glow on his wooden stick grew brighter and brighter. Starting from just an inch, slowly it turned into 3 inches. Eventually, when he swung the stick, even a faint whistle could be heard. That was the blade edge forming naturally. Once the intent reached a certain level. Killed a rot-bone wolf, got a wisp of incense. Killed a rot-bone bear, got 2 wisps of incense. Killed a rot-bone snake, got a wisp of incense. Killed a rot-bone bird, got a wisp of incense. Notification kept popping up, and his incense supply shot up fast. 0.02 pillar, 0.05 pillar, 0.1 pillar. 2 hours passed. Chun Fan had killed nearly 50 monsters. His incense reserve reached 0.5 pillars. Azure Dragon Crescent Blade Mastery. Early stage 8%. That's not exactly fast progress, but not slow either. The key is he found a pattern. The deeper toward the center of the plains, the stronger the monsters got, and the more incense they accumulated. On the outskirts, rot-bone wolves had only 1 wisp. A bit further in, rot-bone bears had 2 wisps. Rot-bone snakes had 3 wisps. There must be even stronger monsters in the deepest area, with even more incense inside. Chun Fan looked toward the plain's center. There was a hilly area there, the terrain rising and falling. The gray mist was thicker, and a faint sense of pressure could be felt. Monsters inside there had to be at least Tier 1 mid or even late stage. Chun Fan hesitated for a moment. With his current power, he could handle Tier 1 early stage monsters no problem. But mid stage would be dicey, let alone late stage. But looking at the incense he'd built up 1.05 pillars, he was still far from the minimum needed to keep 7 days of incense flowing. Nowhere near enough. He had to gather more incense fast. 7-day countdown timer. Wasn't going to wait for him to think it over. If he can't beat it, he'll just run. Chun Fan made his decision. Gripping his wooden stick, he headed deeper inside. Meanwhile, in another direction around the training grounds, Bai Yumeng's team is efficiently clearing monsters. His divine light magic is incredibly powerful. Every time he lifts his hand, a ball of pure white light forms in his palm and turns into a light arrow that shoots out, hitting the monster's weak spots with precision. A low-level bone rot wolf collapses after just 1 hit from the light arrow. Doesn't even get a chance to struggle. Bai Yumeng's divine power sensing is just too strong. Jiang Kong marveled beside him. It's only been a short while. Feels like he's about to break through to Tier 1. Wang Hao looked at Bai Yumeng's back. His gaze was burning. This woman is freaking gorgeous. Her long hair flows in the wind. Her white clothes are as pure as snow. Her grace while casting spells is angelic. If only I could win her over. How? Don't just stand there. Jiang Kong gave him a push. Your sense for divine powers isn't bad either. Kill a few more monsters. Try to break through today. Wang Hao snapped back to himself. He grinned. All right, watch me. He activated his Olympian divine magic. A pale golden lightning gathered in his palm. This is Zeus's thunder magic, one of the strongest offensive divine spells. Wang Hao aimed at a bone-wrought Volf and hurled the lightning at it. The tiger bone Volf was blasted and left charred. It fell to the ground with a scream. Nice, Jiang Kong applauded. Wang Hao looked proudly at Bai Yumeng, hoping to get his approval. But Bai Yumeng didn't even glance his way. He headed straight for the next monster. Wang Hao's smile froze. Damn it, he cursed it in his heart. But his face quickly returned to normal. No rush, take it slow. As long as that loser Chen Fan is out of the picture, Bai Yumeng will be mine sooner or later. The team kept pushing forward toward new monsters and stayed highly efficient. Bai Yumeng alone handled over half the team's output. Wang Hao focused on finishers and crowd control. The others played support. After 2 hours, they cleared almost 100 monsters. Bai Yumeng stopped, glanced at the divine tree meter on his wrist. A line of text read, Divine tree sense value 67%. He frowned slightly. 67% still isn't enough. That's 33 percentage points away from 100%. At this pace, we'll have to kill more than 100 more monsters. Too slow, he looked up, glancing into the depths of the plains, where the gray mist was even denser, and the pressure stronger. But the monsters there were stronger too. If we kill them, the divine tree sense will grow much faster. I'm heading deeper in, Bai Yumeng suddenly said. The whole team went quiet. Wang Hao was the first to react. The inner area. The monsters there are at least tier 1 mid-level. Some are even higher. I know, Bai Yumeng cut him off. But the monsters out here are too weak. Killing 100 doesn't move the meter much. If we want to break through today, we have to go deeper. But if you guys don't want to go, I can go by myself. Bai Yumeng's tone was flat, but left no room for argument. Team-up rules are voluntary. I'm not forcing anyone. Wang Hao's expression changed. How could he let Bai Yumeng go alone? This was his chance to impress her. Who says I don't want to go? He immediately changed his tune. I just think we need to prepare. But if you're going, I'll go with you. Jiang Kong and Li Na exchanged glances. Both hesitated. The inner area isn't a joke. Mid-level monsters in another world. They're still not officially awakened yet. So it's tough to handle, not to mention the higher ones. It could even get people killed. If you guys don't want to go, just wait for us on the outskirts. Wang Hao saw their look and got impatient. It's fine, just me and Yumeng is enough. The way he said it almost sounded like he and Bai Yumeng were already a couple. Bai Yumeng frowned again, but said nothing. Jiang Kong gritted his teeth. Fine, let's do it. Fortune favors the bold. Lina nodded too. We should be fine following Bai Yumeng. Zhao Kun's face turned pale. But since the group was going, he didn't dare stay alone. So he mustered up the courage to go. The 5 of them then changed direction and headed deeper into the plains. Outside the training grounds, over a dozen huge screens in the control room displayed live feeds, showing each team's situation. Every screen showed a set of stats, including team rosters, current divine tree values, and monster kill counts. But most of the time they're hidden. They only show up for a few minutes during the training. Li Chengming stood in front of one of the screens, staring nervously at the numbers. Over 30 students from his class entered the training grounds, so he had to stay alert to make sure everyone was safe. Mr. Li, Bai Yumeng from your class is doing amazing. A male teacher with glasses leaned over, sounding very sarcastic. 67% on the sense meter, and it's only 2 hours in. At this rate, he'll break through by afternoon. Your class is really making headlines this year. Li Chengming smiled. The kids are doing great. I get a bit of credit as their teacher. Isn't that true? Glasses teacher kept up the sarcasm. S-grade talent. 90 divine grace points. Guaranteed spot in the Divine Light Academy. TSK, such a bright future. That Wang Hao in your class isn't bad either. 42% sense value. Tier 1 talent. He should get into Olympus Academy too. By the way, the teacher's tone changed. You have a student in the Eastern Pantheon, Chun Fan, right? He went into? Li Chengming's expression shifted. Yeah, went in alone. Alone? The teacher shook his head, clicking his tongue. Mr. Li, just saying, you shouldn't have let him in. The Eastern Pantheon path has been dead for ages. Dead and buried for 300 years. Him taking that path is basically suicide. Li Chengming frowned. He has citizenship. The training grounds can't reject him. Citizenship is one thing. Reality is another. The glasses teacher pushed up his frames. He doesn't even have a divine grace system. Can't even use the most basic divine powers. So what's he going to do in there? Serve as monster food. I heard most of the monsters in the training ground were originally caught from the East. They're especially sensitive to Eastern artifacts. If he goes in, those monsters will swarm him like sharks after blood. Swarming at him. He could end up dead. The teacher emphasized the word dead. Li Chengming's face turned grim. What's your point, really? I'm just warning you. The teacher smiled. Don't celebrate too early. Just because of Bai Yuming's score. If a student from your own class dies in the training field, it doesn't look good for you as a teacher, does it? Li Chengming was just about to erupt, when suddenly a commotion broke out in the monitoring room. Holy crap, look at that screen. Whose sensing level is that high? It's over 70%. It's not Bai Yuming. Bai Yuming is only at 67%. It's someone else, 70%. 72% and still rising. Who the hell is this guy? Hearing that, Li Chengming whipped around and looked toward where the shout came from. A group of people had gathered around that screen. Everyone's eyes were wide open. The data on the screen was going wild. Name, Chun Fan. Associated Pantheon, Eastern Divine Tree. Sensing level, 74%. Kill count, 67. Current status, alive, Chun. Chun Fan? How could it be him? The smile on the glasses teacher's face froze. Li Chengming was stunned too. He rubbed his eyes hard, making sure he wasn't seeing things. Chun Fan's name was clearly written on the screen. Eastern Pantheon, Divine Tree Sensing Level, 74%. Higher than Bai Yuming. That's impossible. The glasses teacher was the first to shout. The Eastern Pantheon doesn't have a divine blessing system. How could there be a divine tree sensing? Could the equipment be malfunctioning? The tech staff in the monitoring room quickly checked, but all the data was real-time sensed. No abnormalities found. The equipment's fine, tech staff confirmed. Then he's obviously cheating. The glasses teacher said with certainty. A loser with no divine blessing.
How could he? Enough.
Li Chengming cut him off coldly. Did you see him cheat with your own eyes? If you have no proof, don't talk nonsense. The glasses teacher was choked up. His face turned blue and white alternately. But his tone was still sour. Maybe it's some error they haven't checked yet. Don't celebrate too soon, Mr. Li. The others chimed in as well. No one thought this was real. Li Chengming ignored them and just stared at the screen. His heart was pounding. 74%. What the hell is Chen Fan doing in there? Deep inside the training field, Chun Fan had no idea. The monitoring room outside was in an uproar. He was locked in a struggle with a mid-tier monster from another realm.
It was a fugu tiger.
3 times bigger than a fugu wolf. Its whole body covered with bone spikes like steel needles. Its fangs glinted with a cold shine. Its speed, strength, and defense were a whole tier above the monsters on the outskirts. Chun Fan was in a sorry state. He'd broken 3 wooden sticks. Midway through the fight with stick number 3, it shattered. He had to grab rocks and bones off the ground as weapons. Fortunately, what he got from Guan Yu wasn't just stances. He had blade intent. No matter what weapon, it's all the same. Even if it was just a tree branch, he could wield it with the power of a blade. The fugu tiger pounced. Its paw tore through the air. Chun Fan dodged to the side, holding a monster's rib he'd picked up, and stabbed hard at its neck. A flash of green light. The rib pierced the fugu tiger's throat. Black blood sprayed out. The fugu tiger let out an earth-shattering roar. Struggling like crazy, its tail swept out, sending Chun Fan flying. He rolled on the ground a few times. His body was in intense pain. But he gritted his teeth and stood up. The fugu tiger's struggles got weaker and weaker. until it finally collapsed with a thud. The corpse started to dissolve. A wisp of white light floated out and entered Chun Fan's forehead. Slayed a Fugu tiger. Gained 10 wisps of incense power. Current incense power, 87 units. Green dragon crescent blade. Blade intent mastery, 15%. Chun Fan was gasping for air, his whole body covered in injuries. But his eyes shone brightly. 87 units, one step closer to the 7-day mission threshold. Plus, his blade intent mastery had risen to 15%. He could clearly feel. His understanding of blades had deepened. But it still wasn't enough. He looked further inward. Fog was even denser there. And the pressure was stronger. He could vaguely see giant black shadows wandering around. Mid-stage Tier 1. Maybe even late-stage Tier 1. Monsters killing them would make the incense power rise even faster. Keep going. Chun Fan picked up some bones dropped by the Fugu tiger and chose the straightest one as a weapon. He kept heading deeper in. He hadn't gone far when he suddenly stopped in his tracks. Footsteps came from within the gray fog ahead. Not a monster's, but a human's. Chun Fan gripped the bone tightly, watching the fog carefully. A few seconds later, 5 figures emerged from the mist. Bai Yuming was at the front, her white clothes stained with a bit of dust, but she was calm and composed. Wang Hao followed behind her, looking rather upset. He had nearly failed fighting a Fugu bear just now, and was saved by Bai Yuming. He felt embarrassed. Jiang Kong, Li Na, and Zhao Kun came last. All of them looked tired. The 6 of them met in the fog and simultaneously froze. Bai Yuming was the first to speak to Chun Fan. Her tone was full of obvious surprise. She hadn't expected to run into him here, even less for Chun Fan to actually still be alive, let alone looking in pretty good shape. Wang Hao's face instantly turned ugly. He looked Chun Fan up and down. Noticed that although this kid is covered in injuries, his clothes are ripped in several places. His eyes are still bright. His energy and spirit are much better than when he was outside. How did you get in here? Wang Hao blurted out. Weren't you not allowed in the training ground? But I got in. Chun Fan couldn't be bothered to explain. Wang Hao gritted his teeth. That fire in his heart flared up again. He thought Chun Fan would be blocked outside, so he could farm monsters in the training ground in peace. And by the time they were out, Bai Yuming would have forgotten about him.
He didn't expect this loser to actually follow them in.
And even make it to the deeper area. Alone? Bai Yuming asked. Alone. Bai Yuming was silent for 2 seconds, then suddenly said, "Do you want to join us?" As soon as she said that, everyone froze. Wang Hao was the first to freak out. "Yuming, are you crazy? He's just a loser from the Eastern Pantheon. He'll only drag us down." Bai Yuming ignored him. She looked at Chun Fan.
It's too dangerous up ahead.
"It's easy to get in trouble alone. Thanks, but no thanks." Chun Fan turned her down flatly. Bai Yuming bit her lip. She still wanted to say something, but Chun Fan already turned and walked into the gray chamber. What the hell is wrong with him? Wang Hao spat on the ground. "Yuming, look at that attitude. He takes your kindness for granted. Forget him." Bai Yuming stayed quiet, just looked at the direction Chun Fan disappeared. Her expression complicated. Wang Hao noticed this and got even angrier inside. Damn it. He swore he'd get a chance to really destroy this loser. So Bai Yuming would give up on him. Then she'd be his. "Let's go." Bai Yuming turned away. "We'll head the other direction." The team moved forward again, but the mood had clearly changed. Wang Hao's face darkened. He stayed silent the whole way and killed monsters with extra brutality, like he was venting something. Jiang Kong and Li Na exchanged a glance. Neither dared make a sound. Bai Yuming led the way, looking calm, but there was a strange look deep in her eyes. Chun Fan ignored the team behind him, kept heading deeper into the gray area. The mist was getting thicker and thicker. Visibility was less than 10 meters. Monster growls echoed from all sides, getting closer and closer. He gripped the bone tighter in his hand. The blade aura in his forehead was itching to erupt. A giant shadow appeared in the gray mist ahead. It was 3 times bigger than the Fubo tiger. A heavy foul smell rushed at him. Chun Fan stopped in his tracks, took a deep breath. "Bring it on." The shadow stepped out of the mist. It was a huge python, its entire body covered in black scales, a single horn growing from the top of its head, eyes glowing like red lanterns. Viper Python elite level. Late stage first rank. An elite monster evolved after absorbing lots of incense energy. It contains massive amounts of incense energy. A system notification popped up. Chun Fan looked at the giant python, his heart pounding hard. Late first rank, 2 levels above him. But the incense energy is massive. How much can I get if I kill it? 50 strands? 100? Chun Fan licked his cracked lips. Screw it, let's go. The python charged. It wasn't a leap or a pounce, it was pure crushing force. Its massive body gouged a deep trench in the ground. The ground rumbled as it charged over. Those red lantern-like eyes were full of rage and hunger. Chun Fan didn't back down. He tightened his grip, channeling power into the bone. The azure dragon saber aura at his forehead. Starlight burst from the bone, brighter than ever before. 3 inches, 5 inches, 7 inches. The blade aura condensed to its limit. Fine markings appeared on the bone's surface, like ripples on a blade. The python charged right at him. Its giant maw opened. Fangs bared, at least half a meter long. The foul breath was suffocating. Chun Fan dodged to the side and swept the bone across, striking its body. It was like hitting an iron plate. A huge backlash shot up his arm. His palm went numb. Pain stabbed his abdomen. The tail swung over with blinding speed. Chun Fan couldn't dodge in time. He could only block with the bone. Bang, he was smashed away, rolled on the ground several times, and only stopped when he crashed into a boulder. Pain in his chest. A sweet taste in his throat. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. Late Earth rank. Definitely different. Chun Fan leaned on the rock to get up, wiped the blood from his mouth. The viper python gave him no time to breathe. Its massive body came crushing again. But now he was smarter. Instead of biting directly, it wrapped around with its body. The deadliest attack for a snake, constriction. Once it coils around you, with the python's strength, Chun Fan's bone would shatter to dust in 3 seconds. Chun Fan squinted his eyes. Calculating quickly in his mind, he couldn't fight it head-on, nor could he outrun it. His only advantage was the blade aura. Azure Dragon Crescent Blade. Its power doesn't rely on brute force, but on momentum. With one strike, there's no turning back. It's either you die, or I do. This needs a charge up. Chun Fan started retreating, kept backing up, putting space between them. The python chased after him, snake body twisting across the ground, moving incredibly fast. 10 meters, 8 meters, 5 meters, 3 meters.
Now.
Chun Fan suddenly stopped and moved forward instead of back, shooting forward like an arrow, charging right at the viper python. Bone raised high in his hand. A brilliant blue light burst from it, expanding from 7 inches to a full foot. This wasn't just ordinary blade aura. This was a strand of saber force pushed to the limit, condensed by leveling up, only a foot long, but sharper than any normal attack. The python sensed danger and tried to dodge, but its body was too big, and its momentum unstoppable. No way to react in time. Chun Fan dashed under its head and brought the bone down hard. Starlight drew an arc in the air, slashing right into the python's abdomen. The thinnest spot in the scales. Crack. Scales shattered. The bone embedded deep into the flesh. Black blood spurted out, splattering all over Chun Fan's face. The python howled in agony, its whole body writhing crazily. Its tail whipped around, flinging Chun Fan away once more. But this time Chun Fan gripped the bone tightly and didn't let go. He twisted it inside the snake's flesh. Blade force kept surging, cutting from the inside out. The python's struggle got weaker and weaker, until finally its massive body collapsed, kicking up a cloud of dust. The corpse begins to decompose. Black ashes scatter. This time, it's not a beam of white light, but a fist-sized orb of light, glowing white. It circles once in the air, then enters Chun Fan's forehead. Antique Python Elite slain. Incense obtained, 1.36. Current incense reserve, 2.23. King-Long Crescent Blade proficiency, beginner 20%. Host's combat power detected to have surpassed previous level. Reassessing. Assessment complete. B-class awakened. Chun Fan slumps to the ground, gasping for air. Every part of his body aches like it's falling apart. His clothes are shredded, with at least 7 or 8 new wounds on his body. But the message in his mind makes him break into a grin. He achieved B-class awakened. It's been less than a day since the test. According to this world's standards, after the awakening ritual, being able to break through a class within 3 days is considered excellent. 2 days means you're a genius. Breaking through within 1 day. He can't think of anyone. Even Bai Yumeng, with an S-level talent and 90 grace points, might not break through today. While he, who everyone mocked as useless, did it with only 20% blade intent, and entered the first class. Chun Fan closes his eyes, feeling the change in his forehead. The blue blade shadow is much more solid than before. Although still faint, its aura now feels sharper. According to the system's information, Western Pantheon Awakened must reach 100% divine sense to break through to the first class. But all he needs is 20% blade mastery. That's the difference. Not a difference in strength, but in the system itself. The path of the Western Pantheon is about borrowing. The higher your grace points, the more divine power you can borrow. But it's always borrowed. The Eastern Pantheon's path is to comprehend the order granted by the gods. Once you understand it, it's yours. Chun Fan's understanding of the blade is now far deeper than when he first entered the training ground. 20% blade intent equals 100% divine sense, which means his current power, theoretically, is equal to a Western awakened with 100% divine sense. But his actual combat power might be higher, because the divine tree's power is borrowed. There is a limit and cooldown, and it's up to the god's will. Blade intent is his own. He can use it however he wants. No wonder the Western Pantheon wants to suppress the Eastern Pantheon. Chun Fan stands up, stretching his muscles and bones. He's pretty badly injured, but can still walk. He glances around. The gray mist is still thick, and there are still monsters roaring in the distance. But he doesn't plan to continue, now that he's entered the first class. He'll hunt again later. Monsters at the start of the first class give almost no insight. Those in the mid-first class give a little, but not much. Late first class ones actually give a lot, but they're too dangerous.
He already risked his life against that antique python.
One more and he might not make it out. First, heal up and digest this round of gains. Chun Fan turns and heads for the exit, but stops after a few steps, looking back into the depths of the gray mist. There are even stronger monsters there. Second class, third class, maybe even higher. The incense they have must be far greater. Once I'm stronger, I'll come back and kill to my heart's content. Chun Fan looks forward again and strides toward the exit. Meanwhile, Bai Yuming's team has ventured deeper into another part of the training ground. The monsters here are much stronger than outside, mostly at mid-first class level. Bai Yuming stands at the front, constantly casting holy light magic. Light sword, light shield, light bind, effortlessly unleashing a variety of powers. With perfect teamwork, his divine sense is now at 96%. Only 4% away from a breakthrough. Just a few more monsters. Bai Yuming grits his teeth, sweat beads on his forehead. He's been fighting hard for over 2 hours straight, completely drained. But the opportunity to break through is just ahead. Wang Hao follows behind, pale-faced. His divine sense is only 73%, still far from breaking through, and his stamina is almost gone. The Olympus Thunder Divine Tree is powerful, but consumes a lot of energy. Now with each lightning strike, his arms go numb. Jiang Kong and Li Na are worse off. Their divine sense just barely over 50%, already close to collapse. Zhao Kun is the weakest. His divine sense is only 32%, basically relying on his teammates to get by. Bai Yuming, maybe we should rest a bit first. Jiang Kong pants as he speaks. Everyone's about to collapse. Bai Yuming shakes his head. We're so close. Hold on a little longer. He points ahead. There are a few rot bone bears over there. They're at mid-earth tier. Killing them should be enough. Wang Hao's expression changed. Yumeng, rot bone bears have strong attack power. With our current condition, you guys stay back and watch. I'll take them on myself. Bai Yuming interrupted him. Walking forward, Wang Hao opened his mouth, but couldn't say anything. He wanted to prove himself, but his body really couldn't handle it anymore. He could only watch Bai Yuming alone walk toward those rot-bone bears. 3 rot-bone bears. Each one was a size bigger than the rot-bone tiger encountered before. Muscles bulged all over their bodies. Tusks protruded. They saw Bai Yuming and immediately roared, charging at him. Bai Yuming took a deep breath, crossed both hands in front of his chest. A blinding white light appeared in his palms. That was the advanced divine skill, Holy Light cross/, of the Holy Light system. Releasing it required extremely high divine skill sensitivity.
He hadn't reached level 1 yet.
Technically, he shouldn't be able to use it. But Bai Yuming's talent was too strong. His divine favor was 90 points. His divine skill sensitivity far exceeded others at his level. The white light formed into a cross shape and slashed fiercely. The first rot bone bear was struck. A bloody hole exploded in its chest. It let out a miserable scream and fell to the ground. The second one pounced. Bai Yuming dodged to the side. Another cross slash. The third one launched a sneak attack from the side. Bai Yuming didn't have time to turn. He could only raise a light shield. Bang! The light shield shattered.
He was knocked back several steps.
But the third rot bone bear's assault was also blocked. Bai Yuming steadied himself, clenched his teeth. Both hands gathered again. This time, the white light shone even brighter than before. He felt the threshold loosening. Breakthrough cross slash. Another slash. This time, the power was doubled. The second and third rotbone bears were struck at the same time and fell, not getting up. The corpses of the 3 rotbone bears began to decompose. 3 balls of white light floated up. They merged into Bai Yuming's forehead. Divine tree sensitivity, 100%. Breakthrough achieved. Level 1 Awakener. Bai Yuming's body was enveloped by a layer of holy white light. Warm and pure, he could feel his connection to the holy light system deepening. He could tap into more divine power. He could cast more divine skills. Finally, Bai Yuming let out a long breath. A tired smile appeared on his face. Wang Hao and the others ran over. Yuming, you broke through. Wang Hao's eyes lit up. Bai Yuming nodded. That's great, Wang. Hao was so excited his face turned red. You're the first one today to break through, right? I knew you could do it. He reached out, trying to grab Bai Yuming's hand. Bai Yuming's expression turned cold, stepped back. His gaze swept over like a knife. That look made it very clear. Don't touch me, Wang Hao's hand froze in midair. He awkwardly took it back. I'm just too happy. He gave an awkward laugh and explained. Bai Yuming ignored him, turned to walk toward the exit. Let's go. It's time to leave. Wang Hao watched his back. The smile on his face slowly faded, replaced by coldness. Damn, I'm trying so hard for you. You won't even let me touch your hand. Just wait. Sooner or later you'll kneel in front of me. Outside the training grounds, quite a few people had gathered in the plaza. The teams that came out first were all the weaker ones. Their divine tree sensitivity, mostly only 30 to 40%, barely passing level. Ooh, only 35%. How long will it take to break through to level 1? The team competition starts in 3 days. The minimum requirement is level 1 Awakener. I don't think I'll make it in time. Don't get discouraged. There's still 3 days. If you work hard, you should make it. What do you know? It's a dream to go from 35% to 100% in 3 days. Keep dreaming. The students discussed in small groups. The mood was a bit gloomy. Most people didn't break through today. Some didn't even increase their divine tree sensitivity much. The monsters in the training grounds do deepen divine tree sensitivity, but the effect varies from person to person. Those with good talent, 1 kill increases several segments. Those with poor talent, even killing 10 might not increase 1 segment. That's the gap. They're coming. Bai Yuming's team is coming out. Someone shouted. Everyone looked toward the stone gate. Bai Yuming walked out from the vortex. His white clothes were like snow. Long hair flowed. He looked a bit tired, but his temperament was outstanding as always. Following closely were Wang Hao, Zhang Kong, Lina, and Zhao Kun. All 4 were exhausted. How's Bai Yuming? Did he break through? A teacher came up and asked. Bai Yuming nodded. The crowd erupted. He broke through. It's only the first day. S-class talent really is a class. He broke through to level 1 in just 1 day. The C-class and D-class students in our class probably won't make it even in a week. In the past 30 years in Blue City, only he broke through on the first day after awakening. Seems like he's the only one. That's right, the last one was 30 years ago. What was the name again? He went to Holy Light Academy after. Teachers surrounded them to offer congratulations. Bai Yuming, my student. Congratulations, congratulations. You broke through to level 1 on the first day. Your future is bright. Looks like the Holy Light Academy guaranteed spot is yours. Bai Yumeng nodded politely to thank them. His expression was calm. He wasn't overly joyful. Wang Hao did pretty well too. Divine tree sensitivity reached 73%. A teacher looked at Wang Hao. At this pace, you'll break through level 1 by tomorrow. Wang Hao forced a smile. But he didn't feel so good inside. What's 73%? Bai Yumeng is already at 100%. He couldn't even catch up to Yumeng's heels. Jiang Kong 58%, Li Na 57%, Zhao Kun 35%. The teacher kept reading out the numbers. All pretty good, better than most people. Your team has a real chance to take top 5 in the city. Jiang Kong and Li Na smiled. Zhao Kun also breathed a sigh of relief, though he's the weakest on the team. But 35% isn't too embarrassing. Li Chengming stood nearby. Listening to the numbers, he was very pleased. Bai Yumeng's breakthrough was expected. But Wang Hao at 73% and Jiang Kong at 58%, those were beyond expectations. This team should do well in the team competition. But he was still concerned about one person. Chun Fan still hadn't come out. Li Chenming looked at the stone gate. Feeling a bit worried, Chun Fan went in alone, without teammates, without healing, without even a decent weapon. Although the surveillance shows he's still alive, who knows what he encountered in there? Mr. Li, isn't there still one student from your class inside? A teacher leaned in.
His tone was sarcastic.
That one from the Eastern Divine System. Li Chengming nodded. TSK, going in alone.
It's lucky enough to come out alive.
The teacher shook his head. If you ask me, you should have stopped him from the start. No need to bring trouble on yourself. Li Chengming didn't respond. He kept staring at the stone gate. Another 10 or so minutes passed. The vortex in the stone gate stirred. People began to come out one after another. All students from other teams. Most divine tree readings were between 30 and 40. Li Chengming's heart grew heavier. Did something really happen to Chun Fan? Right at that moment, the stone gate rippled again. A figure emerged from the vortex. School uniform was torn to shreds. Covered in injuries, black blood streaked his face. But he stood straight.
His gaze was bright.
It's Chun Fan. Li Chengming's eyes lit up. He quickly walked up. Chun Fan, are you all right? Chun Fan shook his head. I'm fine, Mr. Li. All these injuries. Li Chengming eyed his tattered clothes, feeling heartfelt pain. Just surface wounds, nothing serious. Li Chengming let out a sigh of relief. Wanted to ask about what happened inside. But before he could speak, an unpleasant voice rang out. Still alive, huh? Wang Hao walked over, sizing up Chun Fan, with nothing but disdain in his eyes. Went in alone, coming out alive. Guess you got pretty lucky. Chun Fan ignored him. Wang Hao kept up his sarcastic tone. So, what's up, Eastern God? How much did your divine tree sense? 10% or 5%? Jiang Kong and Li Na chuckled along. How bro, don't say that. He's the only seedling from the Eastern Divine System, after all. Cut him some slack. Who knows, maybe he got 20%. Bai Yumeng stood not far away, staring at Chun Fan's sorry state. His lips moved slightly. He wanted to go over and ask how things went, but felt it would make Chun Fan even more embarrassed. Wang Hao and his crew were watching closely. If he went over, they'd definitely act even worse. So he just kept his distance, eyes full of complex emotions. All right, that's enough. Li Chengming frowned. Everyone, quit it. He turned to Chun Fan and said, let's go. Time to register your data. Doesn't matter how much. At least it's a result. Chun Fan nodded, followed Li Chengming to the registration desk. There's a row of registration tables by the square. Each student that comes out has to register their divine tree sensing slip here. A small testing cup sits on each table. Just place your hand, and it'll show the data. Chun Fan lined up at the end. Several people ahead were still registering. Zhang Wei, Divine Tree Sense, 37%. Li Kong, Divine Tree Sense, 29%. Zhao Zhu, Divine Tree Sense, 41%. Each piece of data popped out, almost all in the 30s and 40s. Chun Fan's turn came. At some point, Wang Hao had followed over, standing nearby to watch the show. Jiang Kong, Li Na, and Zhao Kun were there too. Bai Yuming hesitated, but decided to come over too. Li Chengming stood beside Chun Fan, a bit anxious inside. He hoped Chun Fan would get a good score. But reason told him, for an Eastern Divine System Awakener, even 20 to 30% would be impressive. Even though Chun Fan had shown a 74% reading earlier, Li Chengming still wasn't confident. What if something went wrong? Go ahead and place your hand. The registration worker was a young female teacher, looking at Chun Fan with some pity. She obviously knew about his situation. Chun Fan pressed his hand on the testing cup. A faint blue glow appeared on the cup's surface. A few seconds later, the numbers popped up. Divine Tree Sense, 100%. Level, Barank Awakener. The entire place fell silent. Dead silent. Everyone stared wide-eyed at those numbers, thinking they must have read it wrong. 100%, 100%. No way. Wang Hao was the first to react. His voice even changed pitch. This can't be. The registration worker was stunned too. He rubbed his eyes, making sure he wasn't mistaken. It's really 100%. And the level shows first rank awakener. Boom! The square erupted. Damn, a first rank awakener. He broke through too. How is this possible? Isn't he from the Eastern Divine System? The Eastern Divine System can break through first rank too. Isn't there no divine figure tier? Am I freaking dreaming right now? Bai Yuming lifted his head, his beautiful eyes full of shock.
He stared at Chun Fan's back,
his lips trembling. He had pushed himself all day, and only broke through first rank at the very last moment. But Chun Fan, the guy everyone mocked as useless, the one he thought would always stay at the starting line, broke through too, and judging by the timing, maybe even earlier than him. A surge of indescribable emotion welled up in Bai Yuming's heart. It was a mix of shock and disbelief, and a hint of frustration he didn't want to admit. He must have cheated, definitely cheated. Wang Hao's voice was the loudest. His face had turned bright red. He pointed at Chun Fan's nose and cursed. A useless member of the Eastern Pantheon. How could he possibly break through to Tier 1? This simply doesn't make sense. Cheating? Li Chengming frowned at Wang Hao. If you say something, you need evidence. Evidence, Wang Hao sneered. Mr. Li, think about it yourself. The Eastern Pantheon doesn't have a divine blessing system. They can't even use divine arts. How did he break through?
He must have used some shady trick in the training ground.
Did something he shouldn't have. Li Chengming's expression darkened. Wang Hao, watch your words. What's wrong with my words? Wang Hao just got more excited as he spoke. Everything I'm saying is the truth. Someone without any divine blessing breaks through to Tier 1 in a single day. If that's not cheating, what is? The students around started murmuring as well. Makes sense, actually. How could someone in the Eastern Pantheon possibly break through to Tier 1? Yeah, isn't it written in the textbooks? The Eastern Pantheon died out 300 years ago. There's no complete cultivation system at all. So how did he get 100%? Maybe he really did cheat. Several teachers walked over. One male teacher with glasses among them was the same one making sarcastic comments in the monitoring room earlier. His name was Zhou Hai. He pushed up his glasses.
His tone was serious, Mr. Li.
I think Wang Hao has a point. We all know the state of the Eastern Pantheon. There really shouldn't be a result like this. This student is definitely suspected of cheating. Li Chengming's face darkened. Mr. Zhou, what do you mean by that? I don't mean anything. Zhou Hai shrugged. I just think this needs to be investigated thoroughly. If it really is cheating, it's not just unfair to the other students. It's also a disregard for the Divine Rights Alliance's rules. He should be disqualified. Wang Hao immediately jumped in. Cheaters don't deserve to compete in the team competition. Kick him out. Useless member of the Eastern Pantheon. Who are you trying to fool? Wang Hao's lackeys started heckling with him. Finally, Bai Yuming couldn't hold it in. He stepped forward and stared coldly at Wang Hao. That's enough. Wang Hao froze. Yuming, whether Chun Fan cheated, is not for you to decide. Bai Yuming's voice was icy. If you don't have proof, don't talk nonsense. Wang Hao's face looked terrible. Yuming, you're speaking up for him? I'm not speaking up for him. I'm just saying what's fair, Bai Yuming said calmly. The accords state, all awakened students' results are protected. Without investigation, no one can question them at will. Making baseless accusations like that is itself against the rules. Wang Hao clenched his fists, knuckles turning white. Bai Yumeng actually spoke up for Chun Fan in front of everyone and claimed it's about fairness. Fairness, my ass. He's obviously siding with that loser. Wang Hao's jealousy and rage almost overflowed, but he didn't dare blow up at Bai Yumeng.
He could only grit his teeth and force his anger down.
Fine, I won't say anything, he sneered. Then let the staff here investigate. As soon as he finished, a deep voice came from outside the crowd. What's going on? The crowd parted on its own. Horn strode in. His black ceremonial robe snapped in the wind. He looked pretty upset. As the person in charge of the training ground, he hated nothing more than trouble. Chief instructor. To Wang Hao, he was like a savior. His eyes lit up. He rushed over to Horn in a few steps. His tone was almost fawning. Chief instructor, we discovered someone cheating in the training ground. Horn frowned. Cheating, huh? Definitely cheating. Wang Hao pointed at Chun Fan. It's this guy, Chun Fan, the one from the Eastern Pantheon. He actually recorded the stats of awakened students. How is that even possible? The Eastern Pantheon doesn't have a blessing system. Can't even use divine arts. How could he possibly break through to Tier 1? It's definitely cheating. Horn looked at Chun Fan. The look in his eyes changed. He remembered this kid. Earlier that morning, he'd used the accords to force his way in. Horn had no choice but to let him in. He thought the kid was walking to his death. But not only did he survive, he even registered as a Tier 1 awakened. Tier 1 awakened. Horn repeated it. There was clear disdain in his tone. He walked to the registration table, glanced at the numbers on the test cup. 100% Tier B awakened. The data was clear as day. No sign of tampering. But Horn's face grew darker. An Eastern Pantheon Tier B awakened defies logic. In 300 years, there have been few who resonated with the Eastern Pantheon. But it wasn't impossible. Those people at best gained a weak sensitivity. They couldn't even summon the most basic divine tree, let alone break through to Tier 1. Hey kid, Horn looked at Chun Fan. How did you do it? Chun Fan looked back at him. His tone was flat. Just regular monster hunting, that's all. Breaking through normally. Horn sneered. The Eastern Pantheon's cultivation system was broken 300 years ago. What did you use to break through with? That's my own business. Chun Fan stayed calm and respectful. The accords don't say. East Pantheon awakened can't break through Tier 1. Horn's face grew even darker. This kid was using the accords against him again. Chief instructor. Wang Hao added fuel to the fire. I think we really need to investigate him. Maybe he stole some forbidden item in the training ground. Or used some illegal method. An Eastern Pantheon loser. How could he be stronger than the rest of us from the 3 main pantheons? Horn shot Wang Hao a glance. Said nothing, but he was already thinking it over. This kid named Chun Fan is definitely strange. An Eastern Pantheon Tier 1 awakened. The first in 300 years. If he lets this slide, what will that do to the training ground's reputation? And his, as chief instructor? Investigate this kid. Horn made up his mind. It had to be cleared up. He turned to Chun.
His gaze was cold.
Kid, for the sake of fairness, I'll test you here and now. Chun Fan looked at him. How will you test me? Horn waved his hand. A staff member hurried over with something. It was a humanoid metal dummy, about 1.8 meters tall, silvery all over, covered in densely inscribed runes. A round target in the center of its chest, emitting a faint glow. When the students saw the dummy, everyone gasped. That's a divine blessing test dummy. They actually use this to test for punishment. And it's the top tier version too. Isn't this thing supposed to test level talents? Ordinary tests don't need this at all. What is Chief Instructor Horn trying to do? Using a dummy of this level to test an awakened one from the Eastern Pantheon. Bai Yuming's expression changed. He recognized this dummy. It's from the Divine Authority Alliance, designed specifically for testing high-level awakened. It's a tool made for these tests. Ordinary Divine Grace test cups can only measure sensing value. This dummy can measure actual combat power. The most important thing is, this dummy's defense threshold is incredibly high. Even a regular first-tier awakened attacking with full force might not even leave a mark. Only top prodigies with Divine Grace over 90 can land a hit strong enough to trigger a reaction from the dummy. Horn, bringing out this dummy, obviously just wants to make things hard for Chun Fan. Chief Instructor Bai Yuming couldn't help but speak up. Isn't the standard of this dummy way too high? Chun Fan just broke through to Tier 1, this advanced dummy. Horn glanced at him. Since he managed to break through Tier 1, then he should be able to perform at that level. Using the dummy for testing makes perfect sense. Wang Hao was gloating at the side. Of course, he knew exactly what this dummy meant. Average Tier 1 awaken can't make it react at all. When Chun Fan goes all out later, the dummy won't even budge. That'll prove he cheated. Forget about entering the team competition then. He might even lose his citizenship. Exactly, they should use the dummy for testing. Wang Hao's face turned red with excitement. Real gold fears no fire, right? God of the East, are you scared or something? Chun Fan stared at the dummy, expressionless. He walked up to the dummy and reached out to touch it. The surface was icy cold and hard. The runes contained the power of Western artifacts. Its defense was indeed impressive. What are the rules? Chun Fan asked. It's very simple, Horn said. Attack the target on the dummy's chest with full force. The dummy will rate you based on your attack strength. A score of 60 or above counts as a pass. Below 60, he paused, his tone icy cold. That means your strength doesn't match your registered data, which suggests you cheated. According to training ground rules, I'll revoke your awakened status and report you to the Divine Authority Alliance to hold you accountable. The entire room fell silent. Everyone was staring at Chun Fan. For S-level talents like Bai Yumeng, a 60 was nothing. Probably not that hard. But for an Eastern Pantheon awakened who just hit Tier 1,
It's nearly an impossible task.
almost mission impossible. Li Chengming's face turned pale. Chief Instructor, this standard is too harsh. Too harsh? Horn sneered. If he really has the ability, he wouldn't think it's harsh. Don't you folks from Grand Xia have a saying about having a guilty conscience? Wang Hao jeered on the side. Clearly he's guilty. Of course cheaters feel guilty. Bai Yuming bit her lip, glancing at Chun Fan, her eyes full of worry. She wanted to say something, but didn't know what to say. Chun Fan turned around and looked at Horn. Chief Instructor, he spoke. His voice wasn't loud, but every word was crystal clear. I just have one question. What if I don't just pass, but score really high? What will you do? Horn was caught off guard, then quickly sneered. A high score? You? Whether I grade it or not is none of your business. Chun Fan said. What I'm asking is, if my results exceed your expectations, what will you say? Horn's face turned dark. The kid actually dared to challenge him. If you can score over 80, Horn said, word by word, I'll apologize to you in front of everyone and admit I was wrong to doubt you. And if he doesn't make it, do whatever you want with me, Chun Fan said. Horn stared at him for 3 seconds, then slowly nodded. All right, it's a deal. Deal. Chun Fan turned around. Facing the dummy, he took a deep breath, closed his eyes. The azure dragon crescent blade between his brows poured its power out in that instant. 20% mastery, released all at once. He didn't have a real weapon, but it didn't matter. He had the blade intent within. His palm became the blade. Chun Fan opened his eyes, his right hand forming a blade, and swung forward. His movement was slow, just like the one he'd practiced countless times at the Guan Yu temple. That same strike again and again. But this time, an azure light appeared. Not just an inch, not just a foot, but his entire arm was enveloped in blue radiance. That light was razor sharp and charged straight ahead without hesitation. Chun Fan's fingers struck the dummy's chest. With a crisp, rending crack, the silver-white metal dummy split open at the chest. The crack spread shoulder to abdomen, then from the shoulder down to the stomach. And then, boom. The dummy exploded. Shards flew everywhere. The runic glow instantly faded. Total silence. Everyone was stunned. Even Horn. His eyes were as wide as saucers. Mouth agape. Speechless.
That dummy.
That dummy made specifically for S-level prodigies was shattered, smashed to pieces by an Eastern Divine System loser with one strike. Chun Fan withdrew his hand. He turned to look at Horn. Chief Instructor, what's the score? Horn's throat moved. He couldn't utter a single word. The technician nearby trembled as he read out the data. Attack strength, 98 points. 98 points, just too short of a perfect score. But everyone understood. The dummy's max score cap is 100. Being able to shatter the dummy means Chun Fan's attack power has already exceeded the measurement range. 98 points just because the dummy can only display up to 98. There wasn't time for a higher number to show before. It broke apart. The actual value could be even higher. Bai Yuming covered her mouth. Her eyes were wide open. Wang Hao's face turned as pale as paper. Did I see that right? The dummy broke. What the hell kind of monster is this? 98 points. He got 98 points. It's not 98 points. The dummy can only display up to 98. His true attack power has already surpassed the dummy's measuring range. An Eastern Divine System Awakener, whose attack power surpasses an S-rank genius. How is that even possible? A wave of discussion swept through the crowd. It grew louder and louder. Everyone had forgotten they were just questioning Chun Fan about cheating. Now all they could think was one thing. What exactly is with this guy? Wang Hao stood frozen in place. The expression on his face was absolutely priceless. From shock to disbelief. From disbelief to fear. From fear to twisted outrage. His face looked as twisted as a wrung-out rag. Impossible, he muttered. His voice sounded hoarse. This is impossible. The dummy must be broken. Yeah, that's it. The dummy must be broken. He jerked his head up and pointed at Chun Fan. His voice cracked. The dummy's broken. That's it. The dummy's broken. There's no way he scored that high. No one paid him any attention. Everyone looked at him like he was an idiot. The dummy's broken. Equipment made by the Holy Authority Alliance. And you're telling me it's broken? And even if it was broken, it couldn't just happen. To let an Eastern Divine System guy score 98, right? Wang Hao also realized how stupid what he said sounded. His face turned bright red. But he still kept arguing. I don't believe it anyway. There's no way anyone from the Eastern Divine System has that kind of power. Chun Fan didn't even look at him. He stared at Horn. Chief Instructor, do you keep your word? Horn looked absolutely awful. He'd lived over 40 years, served in the Holy Authority Alliance for more than 20, and had never been this humiliated. A moment ago, he swore he'd investigate cheating, brought out an S-ranked testing dummy, declared in front of everyone that Chun Fan's true self would be revealed. And what happened? The dummy shattered. A 98-point score, not to mention a first-tier awakener. Even a second-tier spirit mover may not score that high. And as the chief instructor, a mid-level officer from the Western Divine System, he got slapped in the face by an 18-year-old Eastern Divine System student. In front of hundreds of people, utterly humiliated. Horn clenched his fists. His knuckles turned white. But on his face, he forced out a smile uglier than crying. I, Horn, keep my word. He took a deep breath. His answer squeezed out between clenched teeth. I made the wrong accusation just now. I apologize to you. Those two words, I'm sorry, felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds. Everyone around could tell. There wasn't a hint of sincerity in his apology. It was nothing but hatred. But Horn had spoken, in front of hundreds of onlookers. He had no choice but to apologize. Chun Fan nodded, calmly accepting it. Horn turned and left immediately, almost as if fleeing. Even his back was shaking. It wasn't fear but rage. So furious he was shaking. An Eastern Divine System loser just made him apologize in public. He would definitely remember this grudge. Wang Hao watched Horn walk away. His expression twisted up even more. Even the chief instructor apologized. So what did all the things he'd just said amount to? A clown? He opened his mouth, trying to save face, but couldn't say a word. He could only stand there, his face flushing red and white by turns. Li Chengming was the first to react. He rushed over and grabbed Chun Fan's shoulder. His eyes were red with emotion. Good kid, good kid. He clapped Chun Fan hard on the shoulder, making a loud thumping sound. I knew it. I knew you could do it. Chun Fan's shoulder hurt from the claps, but he didn't dodge. He could feel Li Chengming's excitement. It was heartfelt. This homeroom teacher had been looking after him since his days in the welfare home, always taking care of him, helping him apply for scholarships, tutoring him after class. and even slipping him red envelopes during the new year. It wasn't much, but Chun Fan remembered the kindness. Mr. Li, take it easy. My shoulder's about to break. Chun Fan grimaced. Li Chenming finally realized, hardly let go, and smiled sheepishly. Sorry, just got a little too excited. At this moment, Bai Yuming walked over. She stood in front of Chun Fan, her beautiful eyes full of emotions, shock, confusion, complexity, and a feeling she couldn't quite describe. You really, she started, her voice a bit thick. You really broke through. Chun Fan looked at her. Didn't you see it yourself? Bai Yuming fell silent. He had seen it, but he couldn't believe it. Someone he thought would stay at the starting line forever, caught up to him in just one day. Maybe even surpassed him. Are you badly hurt? Bai Yuming asked, her voice softer now. Chun Fan paused for a second. He hadn't expected Bai Yuming to ask that. Superficial wounds. Nothing serious. Bai Yuming nodded. She took out a small medicine bottle from her pocket and handed it over. This is a healing potion from the Church of Radiance. Apply it to the wound, it will heal faster. Chun Fan looked at the potion bottle. He didn't take it. No, it's fine. Just take it. Bai Yuming shoved the bottle into his hand. You've got a lot of wounds. If you don't treat them, they'll get infected. Chun Fan held the bottle, feeling a touch of warmth in his heart. Even though Bai Yuming chose radiance, even though they were drifting further apart, the girl he'd grown up with still cared about him when everyone else mocked him and looked down on him. She was at least willing to give him some medicine. Thanks, Chun Fan said. Bai Yuming shook her head. She turned and walked away. Wang Hao stood by, seeing all of this happen. That moment when Bai Yuming handed medicine to Chun Fan was like a knife stabbing deep into his heart. He pursued Bai Yuming for so long. Forget Dior. He hardly ever got a friendly look. But this loser didn't do anything. And Bai Yuming cared about him on her own. Why are Wang Hao's nails digging into his flesh, making him grimace in pain? But the fire inside him burns even stronger. He wants to yell and make a scene. He wants to rush over and beat up Chun Fan. But he doesn't dare. That scene from just now where the dummy was smashed by a single kick still lingers in his mind. Could he beat Chun Fan? He can't, so all he can do is hold it in and leave. Wang Hao turned to Jiang Kong and the others. Jiang Kong and Li Na exchanged a glance. Neither said anything. They silently followed along. Zhao Ken walked at the end. He looked back at Chun Fan. His eyes were complicated. He wishes he could hate Chun Fan like Wang Hao does. But he can't, because he knows the things Chun Fan can do, he could never do in his entire life. The crowd gradually dispersed. Chun Fan signed at the registration desk, confirmed his score. The registrar's look at him changed from pity to awe. Chun Fan, the student, your data has been recorded. He spoke carefully. Awakened Class 1. Attack Strength, 98 points. I'll make a special note of this score. No need for anything special. Chun Fan said, just record it normally. The registrar paused for a moment, then nodded. He understood. This person doesn't need special treatment, because he himself is special. Chun Fan walked out of the training ground. At the school entrance convenience store, he bought a bottle of water. He drank half the bottle in one go, then took out his phone to check the class group chat. The group was already blowing up. Word about what happened at the training ground spread faster than wildfire. Holy crap, Chun Fan broke. The dummy used for testing. Is that real? Seriously, I saw it myself. A dummy for the 98 score. Straight up shattered. The Eastern God system is this insane? Didn't they say there wasn't a divine system? Who knows? Anyway, from today on, if anyone calls Chun Fan a loser again, I'll fight them. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Maybe it was just luck. Luck? Show me some luck like that then. Chun Fan looked at these messages without much expression. He knows these people are praising him now, only because they saw his scores. If he loses tomorrow, they'll flip on him instantly. Harder than anyone else. That's just human nature. He turned off the group chat, took another sip of water. His phone rang. It was a private message from Teacher Lee. I'll report what happened with you today to the school. Your score fully meets the standard for entering the team competition. I've signed you up. Thank you, Teacher Lee. No need to thank me. I'm your teacher. It's what I should do. By the way, you still don't have a team, right? Want me to help you get in touch with some classmates? No thanks, I'll figure it out myself. Alright then. By the way, I posted the rules for the team competition in the group chat. Check it out. One more thing. Blue City no. 2 High next door will come for inter-school exchange tomorrow. They're led by a top expert blessed by Athena. Divine Grace score, 86. Their team is really strong. Rumor is they might break into the city top 10, maybe even top 5. Got it. Chun Fan turned off his phone. Stood up. The team competition stuff isn't urgent yet. What's most important right now is something else. He checked the sky. The sun was almost down. Gotta go to the Guandi Temple. Old downtown Chunfeng Street Guandi Temple is still the same as before. Run down and shabby. The name plaque above the door was half gone. The demolition signs on the wall were blurred by rain. He pushed the door open and went inside. But something feels different. The statue of Guan Yu on the altar. Those stone-carved eyes seem a little brighter. It's not an illusion. Chun Fan stood before the statue, closed his eyes. Consciousness sank into his mind. Incense system. Current status. Activated bound deity, Marshal Saint Guan Yu. Awakening level, 3%. Incense stock, 2 points. 23 sticks. Number of believers, 1. That's himself, divine role, Eastern God. Artifact protects humanity, walking the world. Regular task is keeping incense burning for 7 days straight. Remaining time, 5 days, 11 hours. 223 sticks of incense. According to the system info, 1 stick of incense equals 1,000 whiffs. He has 2,230 right now. To maintain Guansheng Emperor for 7 days. He just needs to use about 200 whiffs per day. 7 days is about 1,400 whiffs. The rest can be used for other things, like deepening his bond with Guan Yu, or improving his grasp of righteousness, or awakening more Eastern gods. But those are for the future. For now, the most important thing is completing the first task. Chun Fan took out 3 sticks of incense from his pocket, bought especially at the convenience store today. A bit more expensive than last time. 1 yuan each. He lit them and stuck them in the incense burner. Smoke curled upward. He knelt before the statue, respectfully bowed 3 times. Guansheng Emperor above. Junior Chun Fan slew demon spirits at the training ground today. Collected incense to extend the Emperor's life. I come today, firstly, to offer sacrifice. Secondly, to ask the Emperor to verify if the 7-day task has been completed. The smoke drifted before the statue, circling it once, then vanished into the center of the statue's brow. After a few seconds of silence, the eyes of the statue lit up. It wasn't the fleeting glimmer from last time, but a sustained glow, though still faint. It was much more stable than before. Guan Yu's divine phantom emerged from the statue. This time, his silhouette was clearer than before. The armor on his body no longer so blurred, and the cracks on the green dragon crescent blade were fewer. Good, Guan Yu spoke, his voice still resonating like a great bell, but with a bit less exhaustion, and a bit more gratification. In 637 years, you are the first to renew the incense for me.
2 days.
2 sticks of incense, far exceeding expectations. Chun Fan bowed. The Emperor overpraises me. It is not overpraise. It is the truth. Guan Yu's phantom nodded slightly. You have completed the 7-day task ahead of schedule. From now on, you are no longer a temporary walker of the mortal realm.
Task completed.
Maintain incense for 7 days without interruption. Evaluation. Completed 5 days early with surplus incense collected. Reward being issued. Priesthood upgrade. Eastern Pantheon Guardian Walker. Upgraded from temporary to official Eastern Pantheon Walker. New ability obtained. Incense perception. Can perceive incense residue within a 10-mile radius. And Eastern Pantheon relics. New ability obtained. Statue communion. Can communicate telepathically with Guan Yu. Before any Eastern Pantheon statue. Once per day. Not exceeding 5 minutes per session. Guan Yu's awakening level increased from 3% to 8%. New system function. Incense conversion. Can convert incense into personal cultivation to accelerate blade intent comprehension. Chun Fan closed his eyes, feeling the newly acquired abilities.
Incense perception.
This ability was incredibly practical. Incense residues within a 10-mile radius and Eastern Pantheon relics were all within his range of perception. This meant he could find more places like the Guandi temple, to gather more incense, collecting more offerings, and awakening more gods. Statue communion. Communicating with Guan Yu for 5 minutes every day. This was more important than anything else. Guan Yu was a martial saint who lived for over 1,000 years. His experience and insight were beyond what any textbook could offer. Though 5 minutes was short, as long as he asked the right questions, it would be enough. Incense conversion. This was the most core function, turning incense into his own power. Before, he could only rely on killing monsters to improve his blade intent. Though not inefficient, it was too dangerous. Now with incense conversion, he could use incense to directly accelerate his comprehension. 2 sticks of incense would be enough to give him a significant boost. Emperor, John Fan looked up. I would like to ask a question. The Western pantheons descended 300 years ago and suppressed our Eastern pantheon. What is their objective? Guan Yu was silent for a while. Incense. Incense. Guan Yu's phantom swayed slightly. Incense is the lifeblood of the gods. With a global population of 8 billion, the daily incense generated is an astronomical figure. Though the 3 major Western pantheons are powerful, their believers are mainly concentrated in Europe and America. In Asia, Africa, and South America, the foundations of faith are weak. To expand their source of incense, they must occupy new markets. And Great Xia has a population of 1.4 billion. The largest incense market in the world. Whoever can occupy Great Xia can obtain endless incense. Chan Fan understood. The incense of 1.4 billion people. A massive amount of resources every single day. The Western pantheons weren't there to spread faith. They were there to plunder incense. Then why didn't they directly destroy all traces of the Eastern pantheon? Chan Fan pressed further. If completely erased, the people of Great Xia would have no other choice but to believe in them. Guan Yu shook his head. They cannot. Why? Because the Eastern pantheon is bound to this land. Guan Yu said, statues can be destroyed, temples can be leveled, scriptures can be burned. But incense, he paused. Incense is transformed from the human heart. As long as there are people on this land who remember us and are willing to light a stick of incense for us, the incense will never be completely severed. The Western pantheons can intercept the incense channels and suppress our divinity, but they cannot erase the memories deep within the blood of 1.4 billion people. Those memories are the roots of our civilization. If the roots remain, we will not die. Chan Fan was silent for a long time. I understand. He stood up. Emperor, I will continue to collect incense and awaken more Eastern gods, not just for you, but for the people of this land. Guan Yu looked at him, a flash of gratification in his phoenix eyes. Go then, remember, the revival of the Eastern pantheon is not an overnight task. Incense must be gathered bit by bit, and believers must be won over one by one. The road is long, but you are walking it. That is enough. The phantom dissipated. Chan Fan gave a deep bow to the statue, and then turned to leave. The next day, Lanchang No, one high school. As Chan Fan walked to the school gate, he heard a loud commotion inside. In the parking lot outside the gate, 2 large black buses were parked, with Lanchang No, 2 high school, printed on the sides. The No, 2 school is here. Chan Fan entered the school gate. A large crowd had gathered by the playground. As he approached, he saw 2 teams standing on the field. One side was students from Lanchang No 1 high school, led by Wang Hao, with Zhang Kong, Li Na, and Zhao Kun all present. The other side was a dozen people in black school uniforms, with the Lanchang No 2 high school badge embroidered on their chests. The leading boy was over 1.8 meters tall, with handsome features, but an arrogant look in his eyes. He stood there, hands in his pockets, chin tilted up slightly, looking down at people with a squint. That look wasn't just looking down on one person, but looking down on everyone. Is that the captain from No 2? Chan Fan asked a student nearby. The student turned around, his eyes widening instantly. Chan Fan.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you're here. The student's voice was shaking with excitement. The story of you smashing the dummy yesterday has spread like crazy through the whole school. Forget about that. What's going on over there? The student snapped back to reality. and quickly explained. No, two came today for an exchange. Right away, they challenged Bai Yuming's team by name. But Bai Yuming is on leave today, so Wang Hao and the others went up. The result? They lost. And they lost pretty badly. Chun Fan looked toward the playground. There are several footprints on Wang Hao's clothes. He also has a scratch on his face. It's obvious he's been beaten up. Jiang Kong and Li Na aren't doing much better. Their hair is a mess. Their clothes are all wrinkled. Zhao Kun is in the worst shape. He's limping. He probably took a hit to the leg. These guys from No 2 High School. The captain, Lin Haoren, started talking. His voice was lazy. Is this really No 1 High School's skill level? He looked at Wang Hao. There was a smile at the corner of his mouth. Where's your S-level genius? Bai Yuming, right? Why didn't she dare to show up? Wang Hao's face was ashen, but he couldn't say anything. He'd just been beaten without being able to fight back at all. The opponent's divine arts were way too strong. Every move kept him suppressed. He hadn't even had a chance to use his Thunder Divine Art. The opponent's Wisdom Divine Art was already on him. The gap was huge. S-level genius? Lin Haoren laughed. So this is what I was supposed to be scared of? Turns out she didn't even dare to show her face. The people behind him laughed too. Captain, don't say that. Maybe she's just scared? Yeah, S-level genius and all. So precious. How could she possibly fight with us regular folks? The students from No 1 High School were furious, but no one dared to argue, because the facts were right there. Wang Hao lost. He lost badly. And Bai Yuming really didn't come. Speaking of which, Lin Haoren scanned the crowd. Do you have anyone competent left in No 1? Don't tell me this is your only A-level player. The team competition's about to start. If this is all you've got, when you face us, you might as well surrender early. Wang Hao clenched his fists. His teeth ground together audibly. He lost, and it was ugly. But he couldn't accept it. With Bai Yuming gone, he became the strongest on the team. Yet ended up like this. How's he supposed to explain that? He glanced at the crowd by the field, and saw a familiar figure. Chun Fan was standing there among the crowd, looking this way with a blank expression. Wang Hao narrowed his eyes. An idea formed in his mind. He suddenly spoke up, his voice not too loud or too soft, just enough for everyone to hear. Who said we don't have anyone decent in No 1 High School? Lin Haoren raised an eyebrow. Oh, another expert. Of course there is. Wang Hao turned his head, looking toward Chun Fan. Our school has someone even stronger. You guys just don't know it. Everyone followed his gaze. Chun Fan stood out in his faded school uniform. He didn't fit in with the others at all. Lin Haoren glanced at him and laughed. Who's that? Never heard of him? Wang Hao's lips curled into a sneer. He flashed a sinister smile. His name is Chun Fan. He's the ace of our school. Don't underestimate him just because he looks ordinary. Yesterday on the training field, he broke an S-level test dummy with one punch. He scored a whopping 98 points. That's a higher score than Bai Yuming. If you've got the guts, why don't you fight him? As soon as those words were out, the crowd was stunned. Anyone could tell Wang Hao was setting Chun Fan up, pretending to praise him, but really just pushing him in front to take the hit. Best case No 2 loses. If they win, it's not Wang Hao's problem. And if Chun Fan gets beaten up too, Wang Hao feels better about himself. Why should he be the only one embarrassed? If he goes down, everyone should go down? The whole field was quiet for 2 seconds. Then the murmurs rose up. What's Wang Hao trying to pull? Pushing Chun Fan up there. Maybe after being beaten, his brain isn't working right. No matter how strong Chun Fan is, he's still one person. The other side has 5. Wang Hao just wants Chun Fan to take the fall for him. So shameless. But you never know. Chun Fan did break a dummy yesterday. Smashed it to pieces. 98 points. That's S level. Breaking a dummy is one thing. Actual combat is another. Those 5 work together perfectly. How could Chun Fan fight alone? Wang Hao's move is low. A lot of people looked at Wang Hao with contempt, but nobody dared say anything too harsh. The Hao family is rich and powerful, not someone you want to cross. Some people who want to flatter Wang Hao started booing too. That's right. Chun Fan is our school's hidden ace. Send Chun Fan up. He can take on all 5 by himself. Oriental gods. Invincible in the world. It sounded like praise, but their tone was pure sarcasm. Wang Hao's lackeys were the loudest of all, each voice louder than the last. Come on, Chun Fan. Show them what real strength is. Didn't you smash the dummy? Fighting people should be easy. Don't chicken out, do our school proud. Chun Fan stood in the crowd, expressionless. He looked at Wang Hao, eyes calm. But Wang Hao felt a chill down his spine under that gaze. He instinctively stepped back. He recalled the scene from yesterday when Chun Fan shattered the dummy with a single strike. A chill ran down his back. I'm just telling the truth. Wang Hao spoke up despite his nerves. You really are strong. Why not show them what you can do? Chun Fan ignored him. He looked away. At that moment, Lin Haoren spoke up. He sized up Chun Fan from head to toe. His eyes were filled with curiosity and disdain. Chun Fan hadn't heard of it. Which deity did you awaken? Chun Fan glanced at him. The martial saint, Guan Yu from the Eastern Pantheon. The sports field fell silent for a second. Then everyone burst out laughing. All the people behind Lin Haoren cracked up. The Eastern Pantheon? Did I hear that right? Isn't Guan Yu just something from a history book? Is Blue City no one high out of people? They send out someone from the Eastern Pantheon. The Eastern Pantheon died out 300 years ago. People still believe in that now? Lin Haoren's lips curled up too. He looked at Chun Fan like a joke. Eastern Pantheon. Are you sure about that? Chun Fan spoke, and Lin Haoren shook his head. Laughing, is Blue City no one high really out of people? The S-level genius doesn't dare come. The A-levels have been beaten down. Now they're actually sending out someone from the Eastern Pantheon? Is everyone in your school useless? That was harsh. All the students around from no one high looked pale with anger, but no one could refute it, because they really didn't have anyone stronger to send. Bai Yuming wasn't here. Wang Hao lost. The others were even worse. The only one with any real strength left was Chun Fan. But he's from the Eastern Pantheon. Who believes he can win? Wang Hao looked just as upset. Lin Haoren called No. 1 High a bunch of losers. And that included him. But he put up with it, because he wanted to see Chun Fan make a fool of himself even more. Chun Fan, did you hear that? Wang Hao said sarcastically. They're calling our school trash. Aren't you going to teach them a lesson? You're the one who shattered the dummy, after all. Taking care of them should be a piece of cake for you, right? Go on. Show them what the Eastern Pantheon is made of. He made it sound grand. But anyone could tell he was setting Chun Fan up. The more he praised Chun Fan, the harder the fall would be. Chun Fan turned and looked at Wang Hao. Just one look, and Wang Hao's smile froze. That gaze was icy cold, sharp as a knife. He opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but it was like his throat was being squeezed.
He couldn't get a single word out.
Again, he remembered yesterday when Chun Fan shattered the dummy. Cold sweat broke out on his back again. Lin Haoren's attention never left Chun Fan. He noticed Chun Fan wasn't nervous, wasn't afraid, not even angry. He just stood there, calm as still water. That calmness was unsettling. Normally, people facing him are either nervous, afraid, or pretending to be defiant. But Chun Fan had none of that. He just stood there, looking at him. Hey, you Eastern Pantheon guy. Lin Haoren spoke up. He sounded impatient. Are you going to fight or not? If not, just say so. Stop wasting time. We still have to find Bai Yuming. No time to mess around with you. The guys behind him started laughing again. Captain, don't say that. At least he's an awakened, you know? An awakened of the Eastern Pantheon. Does that even count as awakened? Chun Fan looked at them. Finally, he spoke. How do you want to fight? Lin Haoren's eyes lit up. So you actually want to fight? He held up 3 fingers. 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds, I'll have you on the ground. You pick the format. 1-on-1. Or a team battle. Whatever you want. A smug smile appeared on his lips. His eyes were full of confidence. So, do you dare? Chun Fan looked at him, then glanced at the 4 guys behind him. All 5 of you can come at once, Chun Fan said. The field went silent. Lin Haoren's smile froze on his lips. What? I said. Chun Fan sounded as calm as if he were saying, The weather is nice today. All 5 of you, come at me. I'm in a hurry. There was dead silence all around. Everyone stared with wide eyes. Mouths dropped wide open. All 5 at once? They're all awakened, you know? Lin Heron's divine favor is 86. The other 4 are all above 60 or 70. That's a top 10 team in the whole city. Chun Fan wants to take on all 5 alone. Is he out of his mind? 1 versus 5? That's suicide. Even though Chun Fan shattered the dummy yesterday. Actual combat is a whole different story. 5 people working together. Not to mention a first rank awakened. Even second rank insiders would have to think twice. Chun Fan is getting cocky. Wang Hao was stunned too. He just wanted Chun Fan to go up and get beaten up. Embarrass himself a little. But Chun Fan actually challenged all 5. That's way beyond embarrassing. That's a death wish. But on second thought, if Chun Fan really gets beaten up, then his own embarrassment won't matter. Everyone will be focused on Chun Fan's defeat. Who would even remember that he lost? A small smile appeared on Wang Hao's lips. Lin Heron's face turned completely dark. His eyes narrowed. He stared at Chun Fan, like a wolf provoked. Are you sure? Chun Fan looked at him but said nothing. His eyes made it very clear. I already said it. All of you come at once. Lin Heron nodded. His voice was cold as ice. Good. He turned to his 4 teammates. Did you hear that? This guy wants to take on all 5 of us. The 4 teammates exchanged glances. They all smiled. Those smiles held a mix of anger, disdain, and a hint of cruelty. Captain, if he wants to die, let's grant his wish. Let's show him he has no idea what's coming. A loser from the Eastern Pantheon. Acting all tough, the 5 spread out, forming a fan shape as they moved toward Chun Fan. Lin Heron stood at the front. His hands were glowing with a faint golden light. It was Athena's blessing, divine wisdom. Battle tactics foresight. In a short time, it greatly boosts reaction speed and judgment. It's the top support ability among close combat divine arts. I'll ask you one more time. Lin Heron stared at Chun Fan. Are you sure? Chun Fan looked at him and spoke. You sure do talk a lot. Lin Heron's eyes went stone cold. He took a deep breath. His voice was low. Today I'm going to cripple you right here. Disqualify you from the team tournament. And knock you out of the provincial exam too. As soon as he said that, everyone around gasped in shock. Crippling someone, this isn't just a friendly spar. They're going for a kill move. In the circle of awakened, the word cripple only means one thing: to break someone's limbs. Shatter their core. Make them completely lose the abilities of an awakened. It's even harsher than killing, because killing is just death. Being crippled is a fate worse than death. And according to the Awakened Accord, injuries caused during these kinds of sparring matches, as long as they're not fatal, are basically never pursued, because no one can prove it was intentional. Lin Heron is being way too ruthless. What can you do if Chun Fan acts so arrogant? One guy taking on 5. Anyone would get pissed. But crippling him is going too far. He brought it on himself. Wang Hao stood in the crowd. His heart was pounding. He heard Lin Heron say he was going to cripple Chun Fan. Awesome! He almost couldn't hold it in. If Chun Fan gets crippled, Bai Yumeng will finally give up on him. Then it'll be Wang Hao's chance. He licked his lips, his eyes fixed on the field, unblinking. Come on, hurry up. End this loser for good. On the field, the 5 had already taken their positions. Lin Heron stood in the center. 2 melee type awakened on each side. 2 ranged types in the back. A textbook 5-person combat formation. They could attack or defend. Their coordination was seamless. Clearly, this wasn't their first time using this. Lin Heron gave a low shout. All 5 moved at once. The 2 melee fighters on the sides charged first. One used Ares' Berserker Divine Art. His muscles swelled explosively. His glowing red fist flew straight for Chun Fan's face. The other used Hephaestus' Forging Divine Art. Both arms coated in a layer of metal. They gleamed like a pair of iron hammers. The 2 ranged fighters in back started charging up as well. Light glowed in their palms. One wielded Apollo's Solar Divine Power. One wielded Artemis's Hunter Divine Power. Lin Heron stood in the middle. The golden light from his hands grew brighter and brighter. He was waiting for an opening, waiting for Chun Fan to slip up. 5 people, 5 directions. 5 divine powers attacking at once. For any regular first-tier awakened, They never survive this wave. Too bad Chun Fan isn't a regular awakened. He looked at the two charging at him.
He didn't back down.
He didn't even move. Just as the fists and metal arms were about to strike him, Chun Fan moved.